Tune in most days of the week, and he'll be there schooling some ignorant creep, or catch him on a gaming whim. But this ain't a game to him. You could be a Bradley's baddie too. You could be a Bradley's baddie too. So join Jovan and get your critical cap on. 'Cause there's a Bradley's baddie inside of me and you.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the Morning Manifesto live show with me, your host, Jovan, and my lovely co-host, Alina. Good morning, Alina.
Good morning.
Welcome into the show, everybody. It is Thursday, December 19th. We are going... Oh, Alina, what was that?
It's playing.
Oh, okay. We're gonna be kicking it off with Throwaway Thursday. I kind of kept Thursday woke, Alina. I was like, I still want to talk about some woke stuff. So our topics today are trans men and women are men and women, gender affirming care for minors, men don't want wives, they want mommies, maids, and nannies, MAGA fell for Trump's lies, pro-choice, and then a free parking space, which can be any woke topic you want. That is going to be our topics today. That's what we're going to be doing. That's how we're going to be living. If you are watching on TikTok, do me a favor and hit that like button as many times as you can. Guys, we need to get to at least 10K likes within the first couple minutes of stream if you want us to stay on that FYP. If you're watching on Twitch, good morning. Have a wonderful day. I'm glad you guys are here. And if you're watching on YouTube, hello. And YouTube, welcome into stream. If you do want to support the stream, as we say every day, this stream is completely fan-funded. I have no corporate sponsors or corporate backers. You can donate right to the tip goal. The tip goal is there every morning. If we hit it, great. If we don't hit it, also great. Tips are always appreciated, but never required. You can my Cash App, or send to Venmo. There's also a PayPal in the link tree in my bio. If you send $5 and type the words read, I will read whatever message you send to me as long as it doesn't go against TOS. And then if you send $20, you can kick any guest who's up here except for Alina. Alina's bounty is $100. Okay. Ooh, we hit 10K likes. Now I got to get 20.
Also, for the people in the comments saying, wow, Alina's here on time, rude. There's been many times where I have been here and Jovan canceled and didn't tell me. So
one time I didn't tell you.
It's been at least 2 times.
2 times I didn't tell you.
That's a lot of times.
Also, I do just want to let everybody know the toy drive is officially over. Thank you guys so much. We did get the toys to the school that we were taking them to be donated. Me and Jones are gonna put together a video so you guys can see. But the toy drive is over. Thank you guys so much for helping out with the toy drive. Next year, we're gonna go bigger and better. The toy drive is gonna start a month earlier, and we're gonna plan out an event where we'll have like food. My plan next year, just so that toy drive plan, is not only have it be a toy drive, but also have a Christmas dinner bag for every family that comes, so that they can get a turkey or a ham, mashed potatoes, gravy, stuffing, like get a full Christmas dinner in a bag. That's my hope for next year. So we're going to push for that for next year's holiday fundraiser. So my hope is to really, to get that cooking. What do I have any other housekeeping this morning? I don't think so.
Yes, you do.
What else?
Remember to tip your bartender, aka me.
True, yes. Remember, gifts can be given to the panelists, so make sure you're You're supporting the panelists who join us today during our debates, during our conversations.
Also, I do take bribes to get in the guest box. Oh, thank you. Someone mentioned to check out my Etsy shop. Yes, you can do that. Also, now that the toy drive is over, I can talk about my own drive, aka the pet and food supply, the pet food and supplies drive that I'm doing on Saturday. It's the first link in my bio. It is for an underserved community here in South Florida, and it is just, pet food and supplies to be passed out to unhoused people in the area that have pets and low-income people that have pets. So, yeah.
Awesome. That's in your link tree, you said, right? In your bio?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, cool. Everybody say W Lily. Lesby Lily got us kicking off with the first tip today. So thank you, Lily. Everybody say W to Lily, please. All right. I'm going to open up the call-in line, but there might be some people in the TikTok guest request first, Alina, if you want to bring some of them up. Feel free. We'll see if people disagree. Hello, do you disagree? They don't know they're here. They fully don't know they're here. Hunter doesn't disagree. Hunter's one of my mods, one of my oldest mods.
Oh,
What's
how
up,
am I supposed to know
boobies?
that?
Hello, hello.
How you been, boobies?
You know, crippled, but we deal with it.
That's right. If people hear me and you talk, they're gonna think I'm ableist.
It's all right. They'll figure it out.
Do you think so? This other person, the guest request, Lena, looks like they have a Trump picture. They might disagree.
I want to thank, I don't know if I'm saying it right, Abir, for the PayPal. Thank you so much.
Hey, www. W
I don't see
beers in the
anyone else
chat.
I don't see anyone else in guest request, so it might be a private account.
Good morning.
Captain Black Sparrow, thank you so much for the Cash App. Good morning. What are you here to debate?
Yeah.
All right. What's your name, age, and pronouns?
My name is Eric. I'm 24 years old. And I'm he/him.
Okay, Eric. What topic are you here to debate about?
I could pick any topic I want.
Yeah, you can pick any of the topics on the board. Christian, thank you for the $5 Cash App. How much to kick Jovan for the lulz? If somebody sends me $500, I'll end stream immediately. I won't even tell you why. I'll just end. So that's how much to kick me. $500 and I'll just end the stream for the day. All right, choose a topic, Eric.
What about YT privilege?
You want to talk about white privilege? Sure. If you want to use a free parking, you can use that for that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, white privilege is real. Next.
Okay. You understand what the word privilege means, right?
Yes. Duh.
I know you're not stupid. I know you know what it means. So,
Duh.
of the color of my skin, which is white, what
I
privilege
guess
do
that.
I have?
You would have the privilege of not facing the disproportionate effects that black people face in America, such as the privilege of not being targeted for the criminal justice system just because you're black. You would have a privilege when it comes to driving, when we see the disproportionate effects that happen on pullovers with black people. You would have a privilege when it comes to the medical field, because black people disproportionately are affected by the medical field in terms of having typically a higher mortality rate than white people. You would have the privilege of typically being born into a family with more wealth. White families have a wealth of about $170,000 to $200,000, where black families only have a wealth of about $9,000 to $12,000. Do I need to keep going?
I think those are all just like opinions.
Those aren't opinions.
Like
you
the
think
police,
those are opinions?
Well, you're taking a small sample size of like
No.
you're saying that black people get pulled over and
It's not a small sample size.
Well, the pullover rate and that stuff, it definitely is.
Nope.
And
It's not a small sample size.
There's nothing to prevent black people from healthcare in hospitals.
Did I say that black people were prevented from healthcare and hospitals? But
Yeah,
sure,
not healthcare. You said something about health.
let's just dismantle your first argument first and foremost. So your claim was, oh, it's a small sample size. Actually, when I'm talking about traffic stops, I'm using the Veil of Darkness study, which analyzed 95 million traffic stops across the U.S. Is 95 million a small sample size?
And when they analyze
Sorry,
them,
can you
what
just
did they
answer
find?
that first question for me? Is 95 million a small sample size?
No, but I'm
Great.
asking you, when
Beautiful.
they analyze them, what they find.
Yeah, they found that black people get pulled over more than white people unless it's nighttime, when the skin color of the driver can't be seen, in which case the pullover rates
black?
even out.
That's racist. That is racist. You're saying you can't see them because they're black?
I'm saying you can't see the race of any driver in a car at nighttime because it's nighttime, so you can't
I thought
see
you were
them.
Racist. But
Are you Eric?
so they
Eric,
get
can I ask
pulled
you a
over
question?
more.
Can I ask you a question, Eric?
Sure.
Does stupid run in your family, or is that just like a you thing?
Yeah, but I didn't get that genetic.
You clearly did.
Why? Because I have an opposition?
No,
Just
because you said dumb things.
No, you said that
You
you
said
can't see
I didn't
black
get
people
that
at nighttime.
genetic, Eric. You said I didn't get that genetic.
Yeah, I'm teasing if you couldn't pick up on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, we analyzed 95 million traffic stops were analyzed. 95 million traffic stops were analyzed. They found that black people get pulled over more than white people unless it's nighttime, in which the color of the skin of the driver can't be seen, and that in which case the pullover rates even out. They account for everything in the study. They account for time of day. They account for type of car. They account for whether or not a ticket was issued. They account for all of these things in the study. The study shows that there is a racial bias in the police system, especially when it comes to police stops. Therefore, if you are white, you have a specific privilege in which you are not being racially profiled by the police. Therefore,
so the
white
point
privilege.
So is it that black people get pulled over less at night, or is it they get pulled over more in general? Which
They
one?
get pulled over more during the daytime. Then when it becomes nighttime, it evens out.
Well, you know that there's less cars on the road at night.
Again, the study accounts for that. Eric, I don't know if you heard me when I said that it accounts for all of this. Second of all, when it comes to nighttime, what they do is they take places where it becomes nighttime at around different times of the year. So for instance, I don't know if you know what daylight savings times is, but sometimes it gets nighttime at 5 o'clock at night. Sometimes it becomes night at like 7 o'clock at night. So they look
Why are you
at,
assuming that I'm like brain dead?
because you are talking like you're brain dead. So I'm going to talk to you like you are brain dead. So
Well,
when
I'm
it comes
assuming that
to,
you're brain dead 'cause
I'm
you
sorry.
have your full-time
I'm sorry.
job is
I'm giving you my full-time job is content creation. Sorry, I make money doing what I like. Sorry, I make money doing something I like. If you hate your job, that's a thing that you need to reconcile within yourself. So again, talking about the study, because I have been able to pull up evidence for the claims that I make, right? Which is, here is evidence. So when it comes to pullover rates, what they did is they look at a specific place and they look at the pullover rates during the time of year when it's nighttime and the time of year when it's daytime. Typically, when it's 5 p.m., the same people are going to be driving these roads because they're coming home from work. So they're looking at the time of day then and analyzing the differences between when it's daytime and when it's nighttime. And do you know what they found out, Eric? I'll tell you what they found out because I'm sure you weren't paying attention. They found out that black people get pulled over more when it's daytime and the pullover rates even out when it's nighttime.
Well, may I follow up?
You can try.
When you say get pulled over, they get pulled over for no reason, just because they're black, they get pulled over, or they get pulled over because they're doing something?
Okay, so I don't know if you heard, but they account for pullovers that result in tickets, and they analyze the other pullovers. I don't know if you heard when I said that earlier. Maybe it's just that like you only listen to like half sentences. So again, they account for whether there was a ticket given, whether there was no ticket, whether there was a stated reason by the police for the pullover, whether there wasn't a stated reason by the police for the pullover. They account for all of this. You can pull this up.
Since you have the stats, how many of them were no tickets, no traffic infractions?
If you want to look at the entire culmination of data from the 95 million stops, you can do that. But the overall, I'm sorry, are you not listening? Or
you have the information. I'm asking you to
are you not listening? Or
if
you want to look at the entirety of the data, you can. The overarching points from the data stops is that typically black people are about 16 times more likely to be pulled over than white people, even when there is no infraction happening. So
that's just an assumption, right?
Nope, that's the data from the study. They have full data tables. Go look at the data tables.
So if I'm black, I'm 16 times more likely to get pulled over for no reason, or
Based
just
on
because I can't
this
drive.
study, yeah.
And you were saying that they the work times they drive home from work. Well, most black people don't work. Like you have like a fake job.
Do you have a source
Hear
on
that
that?
right? Am I?
Hold on. What is Hunter? Say nothing.
Pulling my IP or something?
Great. Now we can move on. I'm not giving the satisfaction of reaction to that fucking nonsense. Anyway, racist Eric aside, thank you for proving my point about white privilege. W to Caitlin. Caitlin, thank you for the Venmo. Said, please tell Eric that he's an example of white privilege because only a white boy could get this far in life being so unbelievably ignorant. I agree. Hayden, thank you for the Venmo as well. I did use the Veil of Darkness study, so yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'm not going to give a response to racism, guys. That's just, what's the point?
No, that's fair. I'm sorry. I was just like,
No,
what
you're
the
good.
fuck?
You're good, Hunter. Don't worry. You're good.
I was just gonna source them to that. Like, what's your source? Source.
It's they don't care about a source. He didn't care about the actual debate because the minute
know.
evidence was presented against him, he crashed out into racism. So, you know, they can't handle white people. White fragility is such in that they cannot handle being confronted with very clear information. If anybody else would like to debate, you can hop in the guest request on TikTok, or you can call into the call-in line, which I will open right now. You can debate any of our topics on the board. Let's see. If y'all want to stick it to a racist, consider tipping. He was very upset that I make my living just chilling online talking to you guys. So if you want to piss a racist off, consider tipping to the tip goal on stream.
Am I considered am I still considered a field white if I work from home?
That's actually crazy. That's wild.
What?
Good morning, Wheezy. Good morning. Good morning. Field white is crazy, Alina.
I don't like that's I didn't come up with that word.
No, I know.
Oh.
I'm not saying you did. Wheezy, I just want to point out that you have not responded to my purchase of my ticket for our friendship time, so I feel a little left out. I feel a little hurt.
Thank you,
I didn't get a response.
Nita, for actually answering the question for me. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm not answering that question. House white is crazy.
Jovan, if I'm a new viewer here, where else can I watch you? What's the best platform to watch you on?
Oh Lord, I don't know. Watch me on Watch me on Twitch is the best. If you want the best place to support, Twitch is going to be it. But you know, I'm okay with anybody watching on TikTok and YouTube as well. Also, Christian, thank you for the Cash App. I have not watched Arcane, but mainly because I didn't play the game Arcane is based off of, which is what? What's that game? I haven't played the game. My Twitch is the same name as my TikTok, Jovan_Bradley. Bronze, what's up? Are you here to debate?
No, I didn't request that.
No, okay.
Yeah,
No
you were in request, friend.
It might have
You
just
were
been
tapping away, and
a
I appreciate
misclick.
Oh, I must have been tapping. I just support all my people.
I appreciate the heavy clicking. I appreciate it.
Let's see if this freezes the TikTok. Hello, you're here to debate.
Hello. How you doing?
What's up? You here to debate?
I saw the stream there. Why not?
Okay, can I get your name, age, and pronouns?
Greg, 29. He, him.
Okay, Greg, what do you disagree with on the board?
The trans thing at the first thing, because you can't just fix body types, or they can't just change them.
You can't just fix body types? What are you talking about?
Well, I guess what I'm shooting for is I don't agree with trans men or women and trans women or women because they're just different things at different body types in terms of that kind of territory. You don't get people like hormone replacement therapy and the way that affects bodies, and it's not going to make anything too different. I mean, there's an argument for the difference between gender and sex, but I'd say they're linked.
Wait, yeah, I would just say, what do body types have to do with whether you're a woman or a man?
Because when so I'm military background, right? And women fucking crumple under a main pack, but that's because, right, our body types have different centers of gravity, right? Like, women are allowed to do a different PFT or physical fitness test because their body type is different, right? When we do our Marine Corps martial arts, women get to wear a flak vest when men don't sometimes because of the different body types and the possibility of us damaging them.
So
you can't just be playing games like that.
Be there in requests.
I just want to confirm really quickly. So in order to be a woman, you just need to have a different center of gravity than a man? And that's all you need?
Oh, it's more than just that, but it's also a different body type. Like a woman has a wider pelvis, right? That's why women have a statistically higher injury rate among the Marine Corps when it comes to carrying main packs or weight.
Do women have different pelvises, or do females have different pelvises?
Women, because you have bone density, and bone density changes over time.
And bone density is related
your body changes every 10 years with bones, with the osteoblasts and osteocytes breaking down bone, building new bone. But statistically, they've seen it through anthropological research that women tend to have a higher or wider pelvis, right?
Women,
and so the main pack
females?
fits a little bit differently. Women, biological women, tend to have wider pelvises.
What does the word biological mean?
That means XX chromosome.
No, what does the word biological mean?
What is the word biology or biological?
Biological, yeah.
You're gonna have to talk
so dealing with the human, but dealing with nature.
No, biological just means that it's a living organism.
Okay, cool.
So are there
It's been a while since I went to Biology 101.
Well, yeah,
this is the definitions.
This is this is basic stuff. I would figure that you would know basic level.
Well, I don't memorize definitions that I don't need to use on a daily term, and I don't just go picking words arbitrarily to use as a snuck premise to undermine someone's point.
I would say you did pick a word arbitrarily because you didn't know what it meant and you used it incorrectly. So how much more arbitrary can you be than picking a word? The reason I use it in that context
is because when you have little debates, right? When you see those online debates and social media presences, what they tend to use when they refer to a trans woman and a woman, right? And people want to muddy the waters by playing word games. That's kind of how that goes. So people have established, at least colloquially, it seems like,
bingo.
Like trans women and biological women. Or maybe I've seen too much Ben Shapiro trying to.
I think you've watched.
I
think you've watched too much Ben Shapiro. Do you not? So with trans, just really quickly, Thickless, I just want to confirm: are trans women not biological creatures?
I'm not denying that.
Okay, great. So when we say biological woman,
Trans women are people too,
that would
and they
include
don't
trans women too.
don't need to be
Great.
discriminated against.
Great. I just wanted to confirm that when we say trans women, when we say biological woman, this would include trans women too. Go ahead, Nicholas.
See,
I
that's
just have a
okay, fine.
question
Yes, if
for
everything's
Dollar
biological,
Tree
yes,
brand
everything's
Chesty Puller
biological.
up
But a
here.
trans woman
Oh, Jesus
is
Christ.
different
Hey, can you
from
explain to me real
a
quick, as
traditional
an Army
X
veteran,
chromosome woman.
buddy, hey, buddy, friendo, pal, buckaroo. Can you explain to me how the Marine Corps PFT is different for men and women? Because you said they have to take a different
So yes,
PFT.
so men maximum scores expected to be
Okay.
20
So
push
you're
or
not
20
referring to a
20.
different test.
So
You're
you
referring to
expect to do 20
grading
pull-ups,
scales because the ACFT
run
is
a
also different.
maximum 28
Gotcha.
3-mile run, and
Yeah.
a
You're talking
2
about
or
grading
4
scales. You're not
minute,
talking about
sorry,
a different
345 minute plank
You're
maximum.
talking about grading
Right?
scales,
That's
not a different test. You're talking about
right.
grading
So
scales,
we're grading
not a different
physical
test.
fitness. So your pull-ups, which you
You're
can
talking about
alternate to
grading
push-ups
scales, not a
as
different
you need
test.
be.
Hey, friendo,
Then there's plank.
buckaroo, big guy,
Yes.
Army veteran here. I'm aware that there are different scales. If women crumble under this shit, can you explain to me why we have women who are Ranger qualified, why we have women who have passed
Because there are
like
badass women out there.
Green Beret training?
And
Can
it's
you
the
explain this
same
to me?
reason why you got to do that. Well, there's a reason why our first, like, what was it, Army Ranger or Green Beret just came in the past couple of years. I mean, besides all the misogyny that prevented women from doing it in the first place. But we've seen a statistical higher rate of injury
I
among
feel like
female
you're real
veterans,
close to running into the point
especially
here.
with one body armor, for example, is not built for with women with breasts and as a concern.
I'm right. I'm
right?
aware. The Army Fet is
Right?
the
Like
reason why
when
that
body
changed.
armor doesn't take female body types into consideration.
I'm aware.
Like
The Army Fet is why that changed.
having different, right? Well, yeah, I'd say the Marine Corps hasn't seen that financial change yet, but it is that territory, right? Where it's like we have different standards, right? Because we have seen these higher rates of injuries, right? Because if they didn't see that, they wouldn't just go, hey, make the standard for everybody. Because you got assholes out there who are like, oh, women shouldn't be in the military whatsoever, still in power. Look at our new quote-unquote SecDef, right? But there is that physical disadvantage that women tend to have. You do have badass women that supersede. I've seen it. We got one of those sergeants over there. But even she's out here shit-talking other females because they're like not as taught, they don't push as hard as she does in her mind, or she looks at them as malingerers because people got bad knees and tend to have they tend to tear their labrums.
No,
which I've seen it.
Let's just take this to its very base level. This will be super easy, like just the very base level. Your claim is that trans women would not meet the qualifiers to fit into the category of women that cis women would fit into. Is this correct?
No, I wish that I could identify as a trans woman so I could do that 300 PFT, that 300 CFT.
I'm sorry. Can you just answer I don't care about the performance.
I'm sorry. I'm being a little bit of a smart ass.
Yeah. I know.
No, it's just the difference of the disparity of requirements. Like if I pulled up the NAVMAC, right? Or
wait, no, I'm not talking about any of that. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about the basic being a woman, right? The very basics of being a woman. Is there a qualifier in being a woman that trans women do not possess?
I mean, if we're looking at things without pulling in exceptions, right? I'd say being able to have a kid. Trans woman, like providing for or birthing a kid, that'd be a difference.
Okay, so there are some issues here with just your premise off the bat. First and foremost, when it comes to requirements, if there is something necessary to fit into a category, there can be no exceptions to this. So we can't say it is necessary for women to be able to give birth and then say except for these women who can't, because they wouldn't meet that necessary.
Yeah, you can. You can make conditionals for shit.
What is the word
guidelines?
Friend,
you
what
can
is the
make
word
guidelines for things.
Friend, what does the word necessary mean?
It's a requirement.
Okay, and if there is somebody that can fit into the into the category without that requirement, then that requirement is not necessary.
Right, but we're not just, when we have a woman, we don't just pick the exact one little thing which you want me to choose, but it's like a series of
Yes,
guidelines,
in
right?
order to
That if you
well,
look
no,
at
in
it,
order
like if
to
you look
bar
out in the
someone from a
outside, right, you
category,
see a duck.
this
When
is
you see a
untrue.
duck, right, it has a beak, it has
this is
feathers,
untrue.
it has wings, it goes quack. It's a duck.
That's
Now,
not
is
what makes
it
a duck a duck. Those aren't the
striped?
thing. Those aren't the
Like it's a
qualifiers.
stripe, like
Probably not.
whatever.
Wait, those
Like,
are
is it
not
a
the
mallard? No, all
qualifiers.
right,
Those
now
are
we're
not the
splitting hairs.
qualifiers that make a duck a duck. I would say the qualifiers that make a duck is having the DNA of a duck.
Also,
Just like the
ducks are
only thing
probably not
required-
the one you want to use.
Yeah, the only thing required to be a human is to have human DNA, right? It's like there's nothing else that you need to have to be human. You just have to have human DNA. Just like the only thing you need to have to be a
Okay.
duck
Man's
is to have
ducks are
duck
real.
DNA.
So if we're cool with the DNA stuff, then to be a woman, we can just roll with it being XX.
Okay, so you can only be a woman if you have XX chromosomes. That's
Right.
That's going to be the thing necessary to be a woman.
Sure.
Do you think
Hold
that
on,
you can
hold on,
only
think
be a
of this,
man
hold on,
if you
think
have
of this.
XY chromosomes?
Hold on, Thickles. We're about to bust. Well, I'm going to ask basically the same question. So women would be XX, men would be XY, correct?
Right.
Okay. Can you give birth if you have XY chromosomes? Like, can men give birth?
No.
Okay. So XY chromosomes, you can't give birth.
Right.
Sure. Thickless, can you do me a favor and just like read what that says on the screen real quick?
I'm gonna take a moment just to be sure that the Marine gets it. That first word is pregnancy and delivery in a patient with pure 46 XY karyotype. Summary of actual knowledge about XY women.
So women can have XY chromosomes and give birth. Did you know this, guest?
Yeah, you can have women that have Klinefelter syndrome, right? Where we say women, but it's XXXY chromosomes where they can carry multiple because of a failure of cell differentiation during meiosis.
So
And
women
then
don't
generally they are
just
forced
have.
to pick.
So the necessary requirement that women must have XX chromosomes was untrue when you said that, because it is actually not necessary to have XX chromosomes. You can still be a woman with XY chromosome karyotypes.
Did you repeat the online part of the phone? I will admit I broke up a little bit. I thought you were saying something else. That's why I brought up the Klinefelter syndrome. If that seemed like a non sequitur.
Well, no, it's just that your claim was that in order to be a woman, you must have XX chromosomes, but you recognize that there are women with XY chromosomes.
And I recognize to be a human, you need to have human DNA, right? And to be a functional person, right? We can play how far it is, but at one point that's why I said it was guidelines to begin with, right? Because you can have aberrations in nature, right? We don't look at people that don't meet a specific definition of what we call explicitly human, right? So if you have trisomy 21, we don't say you're not human. We say you have a syndrome. We don't say they are something else, just like it's a woman with Klinefelter syndrome, right? We would consider them intersex, or we would give them another category, right? If we want to play by these biological definitions, right?
So your claim is
So that's why I
in
also
order-
went back to my
just-
original
just
position
wait,
of a
I just wanna
woman
confirm.
being defined as the XX, being able to give birth, having those female secondary sex characteristics.
Being XX and giving birth are not requirements to be women. As you've just said, women can be XY karyotyped and give birth. So these things are not required at all to be women. So those don't count. So what is the other thing?
Where was the source on that, since you said you Googled that? Because now you got my curiosity.
Can you see the screen? This is a PubMed case study. It's pregnancy and delivery in a patient with a pure 46 XY karyotype. Summary of actual knowledge about XY women. It's a literal case
so
study.
is this 1 in a millionth miracle worker, or do we just have people doing this on a consistent, on the average, creating a rule?
Frequency does not matter. if there is a necessary, if there's a necessary condition,
so the frequency doesn't matter. That's
no,
not true,
if there's
because when you have statistical analysis, when you need to have something to be statistically significant,
this isn't about
and
this.
the
Wait,
number
this isn't
has
about
to equal
statistical
50.
significance. This isn't about statistical significance. When it comes to something being
So the
necessary,
exception makes the rule, then, right?
when it comes to something being necessary, there can be no exceptions. There are no exceptions in a necessary condition. None. So
you
if the
say that, but you want to play word games where you're trying to add premises and make a valid point based off that. But if you're trying to be good faith about it, you realize that we kind of live more based in a reality where you have these guidelines, things follow through, and sometimes you have exceptions. Sometimes because life's a freaking miracle. Things change. Things are crazy, right?
If you need to reconcile with the fact that
I can see we're at an impasse, and you want to be in bad faith and trying to make the exception of the rule. Have a good day.
Yeah,
good luck on your stream. I hope the donos are coming in for you, bud.
You don't know what necessary is. Got it. Because he doesn't know what necessary is. He's gonna crash out and leave. Got it.
That dude just Jesus Christ.
Christian, thank you for the Cash App. Said tell the Marine to go back to eating crayons. That's crazy. And Jay, thank you for the Venmo. Said when did they make yapping a Marine Corps MOS? That's crazy. Yeah. If you're not gonna have a necessary condition, then you can't keep somebody out of a category. It's really that simple.
Real quick, you also don't need to have played League of Legends to watch Arcane. It's very good. You should watch it.
All right, maybe one day.
I made Kristen sit through it, and she sobbed.
Maybe one day. I'm currently watching anime, so I'm burning through a lot of different animes at the moment. So maybe one day. If we want to check if anybody in the guest request disagrees, we can bring up anybody in the guest request. If not, I'll open the call-in line back up for another call.
I do need to know. Oh, did you hear Mr. Thomas singing Cardi B yesterday?
I didn't know.
Oh,
I'm like currently watching Dan to Dan Yumi game on. I'm like that's one of them that I'm like literally currently watching. John L, are you here to debate? Okay, I guess not. Guess not. We got anybody else in the guest request on TikTok?
I think everyone agrees.
Okay, then I will open up the call-in line instead. If anybody wants to call in, they can. Call-in line is officially open.
Everybody like the live. If you don't, then you're ableist.
That's crazy. The necessary conditions argument is really just the defeater, bro. It really is the defeater of the transphobic argument. Because almost nothing they say is going to work out in that case. Hello, are you here to have a conversation?
No, this is the tariffs guy from yesterday.
The tariffs guy from yesterday?
I'm a friendly, but I remember I had a certain argument that I wanted to run. It's like I totally agree that they have fallen for lies, but I'm thinking that maybe a point was missed.
Okay, what was the point that was missed?
Name Rick Griff in the comments. I am 35. He, him. Also Dave, him works.
All right.
The idea is tariffs are bad for the economy, yet maybe good for profits. And if Trump is maybe appealing to the wealthy in particular, someone like him might think that the Buy American sort of protectionist industrialist policy was a good thing.
Sorry, we
actually.
can't hear you right now. There's a lot of background noise.
Say again?
I said there's like a lot of background noise right now.
Oh, I apologize. I am waiting for the bus. I can call back later. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. I would just call back when there's not so much wind going on, because right now it's just mostly wind.
Oh, snap. They really did want to see the kittens. I said a galaxy, and I'll show you
Yep.
3 kittens right now. All right, I'm going to stay muted because the echo happens, but I'll turn my camera on and show the kittens.
Okay. But yeah, to the person who just called in, just call in again when you're in a place with less wind, Okay. Anybody else? Call in line is back open. If you're in the guest request on TikTok and you disagree, can you just put in the chat that you disagree so we know that you disagree and we can bring you up? Also, I do see Jess is here, so if anybody wants to hop down for Jess, let me know.
Yeah, I'll head out. All right, adios. Have a great day, everybody.
Morning, Jess.
Good morning. Alina, I need a cat. My kid wants a cat for Christmas.
When the cam's on, so I can make that happen. If you're serious, I can make that happen. We can get your cat.
I'm kind of serious. All right. Well, I'll text you.
Hello, are you here to debate?
Hi. Yeah, I am.
All right. What's your name, age, and pronoun?
25. He works this one.
Okay, you're a little quiet, so if you could just speak up a little bit.
Is it more? Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, it's just you're talking a little quietly, but it's fine. We can hear you. What topic do you disagree with on the board?
So I guess you could throw this one in kind of like the free one, but in one of your, I guess, discussions or conversations, Phil alluded to the idea that like people of color, like I think Black people, was a kind of like more likely to, I guess, be in positions of poverty, something along those lines, not verbatim. And I feel as though that's something that I'd consider questionable, I guess, these days. Just kind of based
that
on
Black people are more likely to be in poverty situations.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, what are you basing?
Is that a stance that you hold? I don't want to.
Yes, disproportionately, Black people are more likely to be under the poverty line. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I feel as though that's, I guess, in kind of like what's out there. I think that's less so among color of skin lines and more so along national origin lines. Is when I say that because there are largely successful African migrant populations in the United States, as well as if I have to go beyond, I guess, Black people, then you'll find that there are also a large number of very successful Indian Americans in the United States. And the common denominator among those two populations is probably education. I will admit, though, there is a filter to the two populations where you have people, coming over, and that alone kind of means that you have people with a certain mindset or a certain financial ability to move from wherever it is they were, to come into this country. But then there are also populations where they...
Really quickly, this is just kind of a nonsense point. When we look at the population, the distribution of poverty by population, Black people make up 20.6% of impoverished people. White people only make up 9.5%. The only rate that surpasses Black people are American Indian, and typically, indigenous people will face higher rates of poverty just because of historic genocides that happened to them. When we look at the Black population, when we look at the schooling system too. Why are Black people's typically going to schools that have worse outcomes? It's because they were historically shoved into poor intercity neighborhoods by policies created by white people. And then they typically are in places where their property value is down, so they don't pay as much in property tax. And therefore the schools are not funded because schools are primarily funded through property tax. It kind of just all goes ties back into like the reason black people are more likely to be impoverished is like systemic racism, not because they make bad choices, quote unquote.
So I feel as though recent developments kind of like counter argues that, because if you break down the black population, if you kind of micro segment that into what I would consider native born black Americans to say Nigerian Americans, Ghanaian Americans, people who are black but then are, pretty much first or second generation African origin, you'll find that their numbers are way closer to the white population.
I wonder why somebody who's here, who's been here, whose family was historically brought in through slavery, through segregation, through racial covenants, through redlining, why they might have a tougher time than somebody who comes over here willingly. I wonder if there might be like some reason behind that. I wonder if it might still be.
I'm not arguing against that reality. My argument is against the whole like lumping together that black, which to me kind of means that, even if someone's black, but then their origins are kind of like, say, like, wealthy, whatever. It kind of throws them in that same population, and when we that way.
We're not lumping. Wait, I gotta stop you there, because we're not lumping people together. We're just looking at the averages when we look at these groups. We need to look at the averages. It doesn't help us not to look at the average. So the average black American, averages tell the story, homie.
Averages are skewed heavily by outliers, and so when you're looking at things like these, you tend to want to be looking at medians, and you may want to segment it further. And I say that because there are programs in play that are there to benefit, like black people, but then you have people who are black, but may not exactly fall in that historical, context of like their family.
But you're the one who wants to use the outliers. You want to use the outliers. You want to use the people.
Not outliers.
Yes, you do. You want to use the people who work on the extreme opposite end of the spectrum to show that black people aren't historically oppressed or aren't facing these disproportionate outcomes.
That is not my argument. I'm not saying that black people are not historically oppressed.
Like, depending on the study, you might eliminate outliers depending on the parameters.
I would also say, based on the caller's own definition, Jovan gave you the number. I think, what was it? 20? What is it? 20%? 22%?
Black people make up 20% of all people in poverty in the U.S.
Okay, so the question to you, caller, is if they make up 20%, what is their actual population percentage in the country?
Nothing. What's the percent of black people in the country? I'd like to know.
13. So they're exceeding their percentage of population by 7% in poverty. So that means that the outliers are not positively impacting the totals. They're further evidence that what Jovan's saying is accurate, that it is so disproportionately harming one demographic to an extent that they are exceeding their population size in poverty by 7%.
To me, I think I guess what I'm arguing against is the jump into conclusion with some of these, like the way some of these terms are thrown out there, and the way it affects the people who truly need what I'd call access to programs like affirmative action and things that actually need to lift people out of their positions. Because once you say, oh, it's like, black people this, black people that, to me, it means that the people who are truly the deprived black population now then have to compete with people who are black but do not have that background, like that history of oppression and whatnot, that the segment that actually needs. And you tend to see this because, like, in Ivy League schools, like Harvard, MIT, you have large populations of Nigerian Americans, I guess you can call them, if they have American citizenship, or people like of the African.
It kind of just feels like you're saying we need to. It really feels like you're just saying we need to separate the good blacks from the bad blacks.
So now you're putting words in my mouth again. I'm not saying
No, I said
separate the
it
good blacks from the
seems
bad
like
blacks.
I said
What
it
I'm saying
seems
is,
like this is what you're saying. I didn't say that is what you're saying. I'm saying it seems like that is what you're saying.
what I'm saying is we need a way to kind of truly identify people who have needs, and the term black alone to me doesn't cut it. I'm of African descent. I am in that section of the population that feels as though that even though I immigrated into this country, I immigrated into this country with privilege, and it's a privilege and mindset. It's a privilege and exposure, and I've always felt some type of way whenever I've been in situations where it's like, put your name down. This makes you eligible, and it's like I don't need these things, right? There are people who were born here, who were not so fortunate to have access to some of the things that I had access to, regardless of where I came from. I may have come from a third world country, but I think that alone doesn't determine someone's odds. And so the overarching theme of my, I guess my conversation or debate here is that America could benefit from further breaking down the population, especially the black population, just to ensure that the ones that truly, truly, truly need to be lifted up are not having to then compete with others coming from elsewhere who have.
I have a real simple solution to this. I have a real simple solution. How about we fix the system for all black people and not just some black people? How about when we say that there's issues that black people face, those issues still affect black people who are well to do, right? Serena Williams is one of the most wealthy black women on the planet. She still gets racially profiled, right? She still had issues. She still had issues at a hospital dealing with like how the black women are historically ignored when it comes to medical services. Why do we need to separate, like, right? Like, if we're saying, hey, we want to fix these outcomes for black people, it should be fixed for all black people, not just some black people. Also, are you black?
To your point about,
can I just ask, are you black?
Yeah, I am. Like I said, I'm black African. I immigrated to this country. To your point about like black women and healthcare, like access and whatnot, you can further drill on down into just women in general. So yeah, there's a lot of fixing needed. And if you have to kind of like break it down and down, I mean, to me, like even to bring in Serena Williams, I feel like, sure, yeah, she might encounter certain issues, but those are probably limitations in science because she can definitely throw money at things if she needs to. But again, it just raises the need to kind of like further break it down to see, okay, where do we have historical disparities, and then let's kind of address it. But when you kind of start going like overarching, you kind of start raising another populations of elitists within the population you're trying to help in the first place. And to me, it's no surprise that, people like Indian Americans, Nigerian Americans, Ghanaian Americans are becoming more successful than, so to say, native Black American people. And that's just because they have a certain mindset, and they know how to go for the things of, like things like affirmative action, and to kind of play the system, play the game and come out, even better on top. And the reality is, their successes are not going to always stay in the United States because people have affinities to where they were born, where they came from. And I know this because I see this. It's where I'm from. They send money back home. They start things back home, what they would call home, regardless of whether or not they hold an American passport. So to me, it's important that things are even better segmented. That way that the proceeds of programs that are meant to lift people out of, situations like that, that our Black American brothers are facing, and sisters, they can better take advantage of that. But yeah.
Yeah, I would just say all of that is like fundamentally untrue, right? Again, this idea that we need to focus our efforts on just some portions of a population when all portions of a populations will still face these effects, right? Like, for instance, redlining policies still exist. Those are going to affect not just Black Americans, but Black Africans as well, right? I don't really care if they're sending money home. I don't give a shit about any of that. I care about fixing the issue for every Black person in America and not just for some of them.
what's an example of like and I'm not putting down the things that exist because regardless of how long I've been here, I still feel like I'm an outsider, and I feel like there are things that I cannot even speak to. Where it's like, oh yeah, black people do black, and I'm like, yeah, I'm black, but I can't speak to some of these things because that is not my story and that is not my reality, right? I know I'm in a position of
That's why
privilege, just
you
like being a
don't
black
have to
person.
speak for them. That's why we use these things called statistical averages. Because you not experiencing them does not mean that another black African immigrant doesn't. It just means you don't experience them.
I should know, as someone who majored in statistics, that averages do not represent the population. So, I mean, I guess we'll
averages
we'll
don't
agree to
represent the
disagree
population. Is the
on.
craziest thing I've heard all day.
Says the what thing you've heard all day?
That's the craziest thing I've heard all day.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, maybe my tertiary education failed me, but yeah. That's kind of where I stand for a lot of things, but I just feel as though the programs that the government puts in place can break themselves down to go more than just color skin, because it's not all there is to it.
Okay.
All right, appreciate your time. Take care.
Nonsense, bro.
I would like to point out that he definitely made a delineation between black African and African at one point.
100%. I this idea that like we can't fix it for everybody is crazy. And then to go, well, I don't see this because I have privilege, homie. You good luck. Good luck. Yeah, he said he was black African, but we can't confirm anything, so we can only take people at their word, at their like base word. All right, I will open the call line back up. Remember, if you are watching the stream, tip me, tip the guests. Remember, we do this for y'all. We do this for y'all. I do it for you, chat. I do it for you. Let's see if we get any more callers. Oh, Jami said he has a disagreement. So wait, let's bring him up on the TikTok. He said in the comments he had a disagreement. All right, Jami, so there's something you disagree with on the board?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Right. We can, yeah. What point do you disagree with?
I kind of want some clarification on it, and I want to hear your aspect of it, see if I can debate it. The men don't want wives, they want like mommies, maids, and like nannies. Can you go into that a little bit more, like why you
Yeah,
that?
men typically don't want wives or partners because they typically don't do a bulk of the housework. They leave the household chores for the woman in the relationship, even when the women in relationships are the breadwinners and the ones who are predominantly working, they still do that.
Okay. So would you say on average that happens a lot more often? Or would you say like there's some, because I don't want to say like I know for certain like I don't want to sound prestigious, like I know certain cases, I know for me, like I do most of the housework. Is there like a study that like shows that specifically that I can like look at or look into?
Yes. Yeah, there's a few of them actually.
Also, hi everyone.
So specifically, you can look at where's this one? 1 second. Just know, Jess, if you talk when your camera's on, it will echo.
Oh, is that a glitch?
Yeah. Hold on, I'm just putting up the study. It's from the British Journal of Medicine. I'm just looking for it right now.
Take your time. Take your time. I just wanted to see the source and everything.
I do want to point out that
Oh, sorry.
I want to point out that y'all don't need to pretend like you disagree to get into the guest box, and then you get in the guest box actually be like, well, I just want to hear your argument to see if
Oh,
it's something I can argue. Because Jovan does have a debate server, so you can just
okay,
go in the debate server and get like resources and things like that.
okay,
This is becoming a trend.
okay.
That's all.
That's all right. That's on me. I'm sorry about that.
Fun fact, I'm 43. I was just gonna ask, are you in like a domestic committed relationship?
About to be,
You're
but I
about
guess
like you're in a relationship, but you're about to be married. Is that what you're saying?
I wouldn't say anytime this year. No, maybe next year possibly.
Okay. And like do you live together?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So in that, partnership, what do your roles look like?
For me, I guess
Hmm.
I'm a little bit more of the breadwinner, but also I do most of the tasks, a little bit around the house and everything.
Sorry,
Okay.
sorry. Courtney, that was crazy. Courtney, thank you for the $300 cash app. And Courtney wants me to tell you, Jami, to get on your knees and grease her feet. So
um,
you got to get on Courtney's knees and grease her feet. I don't know what to tell you. I don't make the rules. Courtney does.
Can I send $400 and just say no?
Yep. Right now, go ahead.
That's crazy. I'm
Because
not.
right now
Courtney,
you have to get on your feet and grease. You get on your knees and grease Courtney's feet.
I don't know if I want to do that right now.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't make the rules. Courtney does. You have to.
I don't like these rules.
It's not up
That's
to me.
funny.
It's up to Courtney.
That was Courtney. No, I don't think. No, nah, I'm good. But what were you saying? Sorry, that actually got me like confused for a second because it's way too early for this.
No, I was just curious. I like who takes care of the finances, or do your finances separate?
Right now, me, I take care of most of it.
Okay. Interesting. All right. I was just
Mhm.
curious.
No, you're fine. I understand the curiosity. And once
Yes, and I
again,
also have a 20-year-old. Someone's like, I think she's a kid that age. I do. I have a 20-year-old.
but yeah, sorry about that. I did. I want to like have it like proper debate one day and like have like points and everything. It's just more so like I want to hear someone's aspect of it, look it up a little bit, and
Just
most
really
of the time.
quickly, I do have the study. It's called "Women's Well-Being and the Burden of Unpaid Work." It's from the British Journal of Medicine, where they go into the unpaid work of housewives, the unfair distribution of labor, so on and so forth.
Okay, good to know. All right, and then other than that, every other point looks honestly makes sense. All right, I'll see you guys then.
All right, Jami, you have a good one,
You too.
bro. Courtney said it that time. Greasy feet is so funny, dude. So funny. I did push the tip goal. We did hit the first one, so this is just the extended tip goal for the rest of stream. If you guys still want to tip, I think that's so funny. Remember, a $500 tip and I'll end stream immediately. If you hate me on YouTube, that's your way to get me to shut up. It's so crazy. Wait, Jess, see if the echo is still there. Maybe the glitch fixed itself.
I don't think it did.
All right, TikTok, tell us if Jess is
Oh
echoing.
wait, did it?
I won't know until we won't hear it. Only TikTok will hear it.
I hear this
No, Jess
faint
is not
echo in
echoing.
my
Oh,
ear.
okay, cool. It's fixed then.
Chat saying no
Okay.
echo.
I don't know when it's gonna do it or when it's not gonna do it. But oh wait, nope. Everybody's saying they hear the echo.
It's a mixed bag in the comment section.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
No, they're saying it's still echoing.
You can't look at me, I'm sorry. Cannot be seen.
I don't know why it happens. It only happens when the camera is
Hates my
turned on. I don't
face.
get it.
Hates my face. Whatever. It's cool.
But again, just thank you so much, Courtney, for supporting the morning stream. Tomorrow's morning manifesto is going to be sponsored fully by Courtney. Courtney's morning manifesto. Let's open up the call-in line. So if somebody on YouTube wants to call in and debate.
I do want to mention that Felice had said on a live that they like deleted and reinstalled TikTok Studio, and it helped fix their glitch with Echo.
My TikTok Studio uninstalls and updates basically every time I open it. But I'll try that tomorrow. I'll see if it works. I just updated it yesterday. But I'll try it.
Literally, it's saying anytime I open that app, it's like, nope, got to reinstall.
Yeah. Now my question is, so we will technically be able to use TikTok on our phones after the 19th. Technically, like there's no way for them unless they like server ban TikTok in the US, which I don't think they have the ability to do. We'll still technically be able to access it on our phones. My question is, will I be able to access Studio?
Maybe. The issue is going to be, well, predominantly for people with iPhones, the inability to update it.
Yeah, but you should be okay. You should be okay for like a year or two with that, and by that point, maybe we'll get it back.
Yeah, no, Androids will be easier just because you can download the APKs and update it manually. iPhones, you guys are fucked. Though, evidently, I didn't know this until yesterday, but I guess the Supreme Court has agreed to hear the TikTok
on the
case
10th.
on the 10th of January. Yeah.
But like, we'll find out. We'll find out whether what's going to happen with there. I do think it's a free speech violation to get rid of TikTok.
Man, I don't know how I feel about, because the thing is if the Supreme Court is like, yeah, getting rid of TikTok is a violation of the First Amendment, that's a whole can of worms. That's gonna set some like possibly dangerous precedent when it comes to, free speech and social media.
You think it'll set the precedent just by
I disagree.
Yeah, I don't know that it will set a bad. I think it'll set a bad precedent if they agree that we can ban social media just because of the company that owns it is a Chinese company. I think that sets a worse precedent.
Because the precedent is saying that the government can in fact legally suppress our access to social media. So I think that actually I think that's a direct violation of our First Amendment, because
That's
it is
fair.
saying that the government gets to interject in what type of social media platforms we decide to consume as U.S. citizens who supposedly have freedom.
Well, the government's already banned access to that via certain mediums. We can look at, somebody mentioned in the chat, but they banned like Huawei. I never know how it's pronounced. Phones. I'm not so much looking at it like that. I guess my biggest concern, and this could just be me like spiraling a bit, I'm just more so concerned about the precedent it might set when it comes to like the spread of misinformation, and I feel like it's just it's a dangerous.
We're already failing on that front. Fuck.
I gotta say real quick. Thank you, Buck, for the PayPal. Buck said, "I try not to play favorites, but can you tell Jess she's so cool?" Okay, thank you. Bye. Jess, can you give Buck a shout out?
Hey, Buck. Thank you for saying I'm cool. I'm like the old person in the room, so there's that.
Me and Buck.
Wait, how old are you, Jess?
I'm 43.
Okay, you're not that much older than me.
Okay, but I'm still the oldest person in the room. I usually am. 9 times out of 10 on these platforms.
Also,
No.
just really
membership yet?
No.
Really quickly, I do want to also say that like I while I don't think TikTok should be banned, I kind of think we should take a page out of Australia's playbook and ban people under the age of 16 from using social media. Australia just implemented this, and I honestly think, was it 16 or 15? But I honestly think it's a good idea. I was initially against it, but then like the argument swayed me.
I could see that. We would just have to, and I haven't read this law. I don't know Australia's like stance on it. I would just need to know like what they explicitly define as social media, because that could be like a slippery slope as well. But yeah, no, I could get behind that.
As someone who is a mother to a 12-year-old who refuses to give her social media until she is officially in high school and at least 15 years old, I support it. But that's because I parent my child. And there's there's definitely concerns around people not being aware. I mean, in my own community, in the last year, we've had 3 children self-unalive because of specifically Snapchat and the incessive bullying and the fact that it is going unchecked. I have friends where their son was literally racially profiled and thrown in a trash can in a very white, very rural high school. It was on video and they didn't do anything. Like,
Do
we have issues.
do you
We have
know,
issues.
Javon, how they're like enforcing that ban?
No, let me look into it real quick.
I would imagine it's
Probably
probably
requiring
like some
ID,
sort
I
of
bet.
right.
Yeah,
But I mean,
that's
even
what we're doing in Virginia for porn sites. So
right.
Australia
Well,
approved.
I'm just
So this was
thinking about it from the
this
aspect of like
this happened in
I didn't have an
November.
ID until I
Australia
was
approved a
17.
social media ban for children age under 16. The law forces tech giants from Instagram and Facebook owner Meta to TikTok to stop minors logging in or face fines of up to a $49.5 million dollar fine. Trial of methods to enforce it will start in January with the ban. Okay, so they're gonna try a couple different ways to ban it. But I think like saying to the social media sites like you need to make sure these people are not on your app or you're gonna face fines. You know, I don't think that's a pretty
absolutely.
But yeah, it might be the case where you need an ID to access social media apps, and I'm not necessarily against this in when it comes to like child safety. We'd have to just see how we do it. I mean, I understand it would be tough to legislate, but maybe in order to no, that might not work. Go ahead.
I was gonna say if we look back at like Facebook for those in the audience that are too young to remember. Like you used to not be able to have Facebook unless you had a college email address.
Yeah. I remember those days.
I mean, as someone who is 43, I remember like in high school going, can you imagine talking to someone and seeing their face? Like that was the most sci-fi shit I'd ever thought of. And like now I'm on a live with people that I can show my face to in real time. Like it's I don't know.
I mean,
Well,
remember
it's not like that was that long ago.
we've went so far past what old internet was that now I'm weirded out when someone doesn't have their name on their profile. Like when they just have a username, I'm like, what are you trying to hide? What's so special about you? What'd you say, Alina? You were muffled.
I just feel like if I change my name at this point, people will be confused.
Call line, or is it open?
The call line is wide open. I think the conservatives are just terrified today. We got Jess here, so they're scared.
YouTube hates me.
True. They can kick you too. For $20, any of the conservatives can boot Jess out of the stream. And then $10 brings her back.
See, here's the problem though. Those conservatives don't want to pay $20.
If you Venmo me $20,
hey now.
You'll just have Venmo'd me $20.
Bro, I can tell I'm becoming an adult because I'm fucking looking at kitchen rugs on Amazon.
Oh,
you gotta get yourself one of those anti-fatigue mats. That's where the money's at.
How long do you think I stand in the kitchen for?
Actually, I agree with that. I have 2 anti-fatigue mats and I love them. They are life-changing. In front of the refrigerator and in front of the stove. I mean, in front of the refrigerator, in front of the sink and in front of the stove.
Mm-hmm. They're great.
They are great. Also, I just stand a lot anyways because I'm a runner and I am hyper and have the inability to sit still. So
yeah, I also like I'm one of those people that like I will stand in the kitchen and eat, like also because I just don't have a dining room table and refuse to sit at like the other side of the counter at my bar stools. But anti-fatigue mat, get one. Best $40 you'll ever spend on anything in the kitchen.
I think food might be a better spend of $40. Just throwing that out there.
You can eat anything as long as you fucking try.
Just dropping that nugget. Remember, guys, if you disagree, the call-in line is open. We have tons of topics. You know, you could argue with us about pro-choice. Are you a pro-lifer? Do you think abortion is wrong? Call in. Are you a MAGA who fell for Trump's lies? Call in. Are you a... Oh, my gosh. You know what we're going to do today on evening stream, Jess? We're going to watch the Nick Fuentes body cam footage just dropped. Not the arrest, the body cam, the footage of the initial incident.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to watch that tonight.
That'll be fun.
So if you want to watch the Nick Fuentes body cam footage, join us on Twitch tonight for that. That'll be a Twitch exclusive.
Pretty sure my husband saw a Christmas present I bought him. God dang it.
I don't want Christmas presents. Just tell me what you got me. I don't need.
I mean, I buy like need things, not like I buy like, oh, that looks like something he would use.
I've just been
for daily
taking
life.
the approach of all the gifts that I've bought for Kristen are wrapped and then sitting in a very obvious spot. So every time she comes over, she just has to stare at them.
We're gonna watch it around. Well, I'm gonna start streaming it around 6. So be on Twitch by 6. And of course, I didn't watch it. It just dropped yesterday. I haven't watched it yet. It literally dropped like 15 hours ago. How much time do you think I got, guys? Did Jovan ever get the Santa Ushanka? I bought a white Ushanka, and I'm gonna retrofit it to be a Santa Ushanka. That's my plan.
According to that previous caller, you have a fake job, so I mean, I don't know why you're not.
Duh, my job is fake.
Videos.
All jobs are fake. What's up? It's showtime. Do you disagree?
That's called jealousy.
Hello?
Just FYI.
Hello? Okay. Gonna assume you don't disagree. If you do agree, hop out of the guest requests, just so that way we can know who agrees and who doesn't agree. All jobs are fake on a t-shirt. That's funny. Someone said how much to kick Alina? $100. $100 and I kick Alina and split the money with her.
I now know my value.
That rate.
Damn, conservatives are scared today. Maybe they'll be back tomorrow for Feminist Friday. I won't be here for Feminist Friday. It's gonna be basically tomorrow. I'm just gonna set up the stream for Alina, and I'll just be here to, as we do. Alina runs Fridays. I just answer the phone calls and chirp in when they need to hear a man voice. Nicholas, what is that?
It says in a mass surveillance state, we're all cam girls.
What the fuck? I'm trying to call the call line, but it's closed. No, it's not. If you're trying to call from an unknown number, it's going to screen your call. I don't answer unknown calls. So. I don't answer unnamed calls. No, I do not. Did you guys hear that? Are you talking about the video of him pepper spraying the lady? Yeah, and the police body cams after the fact, yeah. Hello, are you here to have a conversation?
Yeah, sort of. Hey, Javon, sorry, it's Sphere from the debate server.
Oh, what's
up? Yeah, sorry. A topic had come up earlier, and I just wanted to bring something up about the server. Maybe plug it a little bit while we're waiting for some people to call in.
About my debate server?
Yeah. There was a someone had I think it was Jess who had brought it up about bullying and whatnot. We got we have a little source, little channel for sources and stuff going on in the debate server. One of the things that one of the things that
by the way, one second. Just for anybody who wants, Sphere is a mod in my debate server, so just so everybody knows, that's who's talking right now.
Yes. Sorry. Yes. I recently did some research on this topic, and I found like an umbrella study, like the meta-analysis of other meta-analyses, that it was on like bullying, like how it's induces like feelings of like self-harm and feelings of self-unaliving. I don't know, TikTok. I think that's the term. And one of the big takeaways from that study is that those feelings are far more pronounced in students like LGBTQ children and students and whatnot. And I feel like that's something that a lot of like conservative callers will bring up, like, that it's a mental illness, and they'll say it's a mental illness.
I will say the 3 students that I was referencing in my community, as far as I know, none were actually affiliated with the LGBTQ+. 2 were minority women, minority girls, teenagers, and 1 was a white minority girl. I say that, but I also say, like, again, I'm 43. I did not grow up with technology. I didn't have my first cell phone until I was like 22. I had a pager from like 17 until then. So with that being said, like, bullying happened. Like, kids are mean as shit. They've always been mean as shit. Middle school, the worst. However, with social media, we've created an environment where you never get away from it. And not only that, there's this viral, so for example, the young man that I know that ended up pulling out of school, that was thrown in a trash can by 3 white students, and he was one of the few black students in the school. And it was recorded on Snapchat and shared across every school student, like across all of the school division, which we have 3 high schools. He couldn't get away from it. And then there's this element of him not wanting to press charges, or because the reality is, just like a person who is a victim of a sexual assault, it's a re-victimization. It's the fact that you have to relive your experience over and over and over again. So social media has completely changed the way we can harm individuals mentally. So, like, there's absolutely an element of like mental health concerns, but the mental health concerns are created because we've created an environment where it's easier and just more dangerous to target young people and adults. I mean, we see it in adults too. Like, let's not pretend like adults are not also being victims of self-unaliving because of mass targeting in different ways. And you got people like libs of TikTok that live for that shit. So yeah, I think it absolutely, there's a higher number of those in LGBTQ+, but like, it's the fact that we have just created an environment. It's so easy to harm people, and I'm sick of conservatives. I had a conservative parent call me one day and say, how can my kid not participate in anti-bully prevention week? Like, I'm not, like, this was a real phone call.
My God.
So there's a level of like, they think, oh, just get over it, just be thicker skin until it's their kid. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, 1,000,000%. Yeah, just having.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Hello?
What is that?
Yeah, just having.
Everyone's muted.
Hello? Bro, I don't have anything pulled up on my thing. Okay, hold on. Where the fuck is that coming from?
Timing of
Realized that
me
he did, in
turning my
fact, have
camera on for
something
my
pulled up.
dog, and that music playing could not have been better.
Where is that coming from? It's still where is the I don't have any open. Oh, here it is.
Giovanna,
Oh,
you?
okay. Yeah, okay. All right, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
So I had an open
those-
YouTube tab and it just randomly started playing that music and I couldn't find it. What
Remember
the
those
fuck?
infomercials from the 90s where it was like where Enya is playing in them and shit?
That was so weird, dude. That was so weird. That scared the shit out of me. Anyway. But Sphere, we got somebody in the guests on YouTube, so we're gonna go move over talk to them. I'm gonna message you about something, Sphere. So just be on the lookout for that. All right. All right. I don't know how to pronounce that. What's up? Are you here to debate?
Yes, how's it going?
We're chilling. Can I get your name, age, and pronouns?
Yeah, my name is George. I'm 26 and he, him.
Okay, and what are you here to debate about?
So, I looked at the points you have on screen today, and I don't think that MAGA people fell for anything. I just think they, among the two, there was no other option for some people, realistically speaking.
You think among the two, the better option for people was Donald Trump?
The big candidates, yeah.
You think the better option was Donald Jimothy Trump?
Look, not necessarily the best option, but why do you think the Democrats got so many millions votes less than the last time?
Trump also got less votes than last time.
Yeah, but the difference is in the millions for the Democrats this time.
Jess, go ahead.
I think that's so funny you just said that. Yeah, so let's be super clear. This was not a success for the Republicans. This was a failure of Democrats. Like this needs to be a clear message. But
Thank you.
I mean, it is. I'm not gonna like sugarcoat it. I'm probably the only one that actually self-identifies as a sock dem on this chat. So, but with that being said, there's also a level of disconnect from the voting populace with the party. Democrats have a really bad habit of speaking past people or even over people at times and not to them. If I can say one thing, I can't stand Trump. I think his rhetoric is abhorrent. I think his policy is non-existent. And I think that his need to punch down on the most vulnerable citizens of this country in order to lift up his message is disgusting. And sadly, the people that are falling for it are no better. But with that being said, I would say that he did something that Harris refused to do, and that was go on podcasts like Joe Rogan, meet people where they are, talk to people in a very normal, authentic way. And that's something that most politicians on both sides of the political fence fail to do. And that's why you see a massive distrust and basically kind of walk away movement from voting altogether. I'm worried about that because, unfortunately, in this system that we have, voting is kind of our only power within, within the law, shall we say. But there is a like, people are just not. I'm trying to think of the word. They're what's the word? It starts with it's just something. It's
Disassociated?
disillusioned. No, disillusioned. People are disillusioned with the system. And so when Trump pretends to be this anti-establishment person, that comes across appealing to those who are unhappy. The reason that Republicans were, say, successful, not successful, but won, is because most people don't base on reality or facts or policy or anything. They vote on based on vibes. If you have two parties that both appear to be othering the other side and both seem to be pissing you off on every front and not delivering anything you want, your innate action is going to be, I'm going to vote based on feelings. And right now, I'm not happy with the price of gas. I'm not happy with the price of groceries. I'm not happy with my kid's school system. I'm not happy with XYZ. And you look, who's in charge right now? Oh, Biden? Okay, I'll vote for the opposing side. That is how simplistic most people vote these days. And people are not taking that into account.
I mostly agree, except on the fact that, look, I don't think Harris had big policy proposals either. But one very stark difference was the foreign policy. So, especially for what plans the Kamala administration would have had for Ukraine, Trump was very clear that he wanted to end the war with whatever
But the
repercussions this
problem
would have
is
had. Yes.
this goes back to people not understanding the reality of the situation. So ending the war for Trump means negotiating and giving up landmass in Ukraine to Russia. That is not an acceptable term to end this war. That's not. No leader in this country.
You might say that.
No, I do say that.
Yes, I understand this is a very prevalent opinion. However, for people to vote for Trump, it means that they don't value Ukrainian soil so highly as to keep up the war.
Okay, so that
I
just
hate
makes
that
sense.
you're bringing up a topic as soon as I have to leave, but I have to go do a capitalism. So, Alina, can you drop me?
Yes.
Yeah. Just to be super clear, this goes back to people not actually understanding the ramifications of policy, specifically foreign policy. So, like, fun fact, everything that Trump is proposing, from his isolationist views to ending wars with compromise that are going to harm sovereign nations, to impacting NATO through those decisions, through creating a weaker front in the United States by perspective of China, those things that you're suggesting that you think are victories by Trump are actually going to further make the U.S. vulnerable, and pretty much any one of our allies vulnerable. It's a poor foreign decision.
I respect this opinion because it's quite prevalent also, and but look, it's a very American-centric opinion, and I think you're
great. What do you think of Russia?
Sorry?
What do you think of Russia? I'm curious.
I'll tell you, but I think you're falling into the mistake of speaking over people, because it's right for people to not think so highly of the foreign policy of other countries. You know, it's not a victory by Trump, but by showing that he doesn't care so much about protecting other nations. It's actually better that the American people are like this.
Isolationism is a danger to our society. So again, what do you think of Russia? I'm curious.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on Russia?
Russia is an imperialist force, and they started an aggressive war to conquer Ukrainian soil. So I'm with you on that one. But
so why do you think we should negotiate with people that are clear dictators and, in my opinion, terrorists, and that invade sovereign nations?
I would rather personally see America to stop seeing itself as a savior of the world, and in the meantime going around stealing oil.
Did we impose ourselves on Ukraine, or did Ukraine ask us for us to impose our aid on them? Which is
so that's a bit of a loaded question if you consider that Ukraine has not had elections in time, and
yes,
now,
they did. Zelensky won the election with 72% of the vote, democratically voted.
Yes, but now it's overdue. They're overdue.
Yes, because they're in war times. They would be no different if we were in war times. Martial law is always invoked during times of war.
Yes. However, if you look at the polls, the Ukrainians are not so warm on keeping up the war effort at the moment.
If you look at the polls that have been pushed by Russian propaganda, yeah, you're right. That's
no, come on.
Okay.
If you look at the polls by American companies done in Ukraine, you will find out.
Wait, are you implying that we do not have Russian propaganda instilled in our American?
Of course you do. Of course you do.
Okay,
Russian propaganda elected Trump in 2016, thanks to Facebook mostly.
great, and in 2024. But that's not my point. My point is, how
I
are you
don't
sitting here
know.
saying? How are you sitting here saying that Ukrainians want this war? They want this war to end, but not by
Okay,
giving up
can we
more
get what
land.
I'm saying fact checked? Look up the latest polls on what Ukrainians think on the war and negotiation about it, and tell me. Because I'm not just here to spew things out of my ass. It's something that can be checked.
Okay. Jovan, are you looking for it?
I
So
think
how,
so.
how are you going to make a claim and not have the source?
Look, I don't remember everything by heart, but
all
I'm
it is
pretty
that
sure
Ukrainians want the war to end. They just want to negotiate.
Yeah,
They just want a negotiation to the war to end. It's not about like what side they want to win or whatnot.
correct, and they are definitely not advocating. The advocation for this poll is not saying we want to give up more land. That is, there's no level, like, to say that they want the
You're
war to
saying
end is
that.
not the same. That's the only way Russia has stated they will end the war.
In fact, as of November, November, a poll happened where the majority of Ukrainians, 88%, believe that they will win the war with Russia. 71% of Ukrainians believe the government should recapture all lost territory. So I don't know where you're getting this, if they want to recapture all lost territory and they want to beat Russia, I don't know where you're getting your information.
You created a straw man, but I didn't say they don't want the territory back. It's just that they want the war to end also. This is the important thing I'm getting out of this.
Yeah, but they want the war to end on their terms, not on Russia's terms.
Correct. Right. And Trump wants the war to end by negotiating with Putin, which means giving up more land. Like, you're not understanding the correlation here.
So there's two sides to this war. This is what U.S. wants to promote. There's two sides to this war: Ukraine and Russia. In reality, there's also U.S. in the middle. But see, the thing is, for the war to end, of course, you need to negotiate with Russia. Who else would you negotiate with?
What has Putin said he wants in a negotiation?
I don't think he has given anything clear yet, to be honest.
That's false. That's false. So Trump talked to him during the G7 summit in Helsinki. And his negotiation would put Russia so close to Poland that it puts us in danger. And as soon as they step foot in Poland, then the other NATO countries. So under his resolution in the G7 summit, that would literally be the most, that, according to your logic, that would be the least American-centric thing ever.
Which was the point I was making, that that negotiating with Russia and the things that Trump is proposing are actually anti-American. They are pro-isolationism, and they are also putting us as the United States in a vulnerable position. This is just factual.
To say we'll stop sending arms to Ukraine is not necessarily isolationism. You can still have diplomacy and
we have an
trade
agreement with them.
without sending weapons.
We have an agreement with them. 1994 Budapest Memorandum made it very clear that we made a commitment to Ukraine and their sovereignty, and Russia signed on to that agreement. Not Putin necessarily, but Russia as a nation signed on, and they collected every nuclear weapon, which was the second largest arms at the time, from Ukraine in exchange for this agreement. And they've already violated it once before, and now they're doing it again.
Okay,
so we're keeping our end of the agreement.
If we go by agreements, then Putin has brought up the argument that
no,
why
did
the
written
US
agreement.
break?
He has no agreement. That's bullshit.
Cool. What's the name of the agreement?
Yep.
Okay. By the Minsk agreement, why did
Minsk did not say that.
NATO put Latvia, Estonia, and all these countries in the arms union?
The literal Minsk agreement that does not say that.
Does it? Doesn't it? Okay.
No, because I'm looking at it right now. Why are you making things up?
Didn't make it up. I think it's pretty well established that there was an agreement to stop NATO expansion. I don't have it in front of me. But if you can say that it's debunked, I would love to hear some insight on it. Was there an agreement to stop NATO expansion?
You literally made the claim, so it's like up to you to prove it.
I wish I had a computer in front of me, but yeah.
The Minsk agreement was never an establishment to not expand NATO in regards to Ukraine. There was no agreement. This is a talking point that has been propagandized over and over and over again. And if you actually read the agreement, you would see that that is not the case. There was conversations that there was some verbal agreement, but I mean, shit, we can barely honor our written word. You really think we're going to honor something that was verbally said? And again, there's no evidence it was said.
No,
So
that's
there's
right.
that.
You're right in that. But I would say that the fact that people voted for Trump means that Americans don't feel so strongly about NATO and any arms agreements with foreign nations anymore. So I think
Disagree.
I think for the
I mean,
Democrat
he
Party to
didn't earn more
survive.
votes. He didn't earn more votes. If his voting populace expanded to a number that actually, like, let's say he got 81 million votes like Biden did last time, then we could
He
have this
won the popular
conversation.
vote.
Yeah, and I just want to
by
go
less
back
by less
Barely.
votes. He got 74 million votes last election. He got 71 million this election. He lost base.
That's true, but you know this has to do also with the fact that last election it was very easy to vote compared to this one. You know, you could vote by mail, and now in many states they didn't even allow it. So
You
for
can
the
still
working
do the
class
same
population,
thing.
What are you talking about?
sorry, for the working class population, it suddenly became much harder to vote in comparison.
The people voting by mail, the people voting by mail didn't fucking vote for Trump. What are you talking about?
Some of them.
They didn't.
Not at all. That's a statistical impossibility. What you're
I mean,
saying,
it was a
Rita.
pretty large. I mean, I think it was like pretty much a 70-30 trend when it came to mail-ins. I mean, it's pretty significantly leans Democrat. So
Well, still, but
the decrease of
it's a bad
in-person mail
argument that you're
impacted
bringing forward
Democrats,
because
not
he still got
Republicans.
more votes than Kamala and won the popular vote. So you have to look at it in comparison, not just in total.
Again, I said at the very beginning, this was not Republicans being successful. This was Democrats failing.
That's true. That's true. But the obsession with NATO, I think, is starting to cost Democrats now.
Also,
in my opinion.
I just kind of want to rope this back because I really want to test this guy's logic, right? So Trump, you're saying Trump's pro-centric, right? But here's the thing. He is a staunch supporter of Israel, which is legit going to drag us into a conflict with Syria. Right. So like, where's your logic for Israel? Because you're talking all this about Ukraine that we actually have a written deal with, but
No,
you support
this is a kind of a ridiculous thing because in this election there was absolutely no option.
No, please answer my question. No. We're going back to foreign policy.
No, Trump's stance on Israel is ridiculous, even worse than the Biden administration, you know, because there's a genocide going on and he said Israel should finish the job, which is absurd to think about. Yeah, you didn't expect to hear that, I think.
Well, yeah, I wasn't. So you obviously don't have that same logic with Ukraine, which we have a written agreement with. It's kind of weird, but okay.
But okay, so by that logic, just because the U.S. has an agreement with Israel, should they support genocide?
Well, we don't have one. Name it. Name it.
Oh my God! Come on, man!
No,
There's so many laws
serious.
in Congress to send funds to Israel
I'm being
every
serious. Like,
year.
name. Hold on. You just made a claim, right? Name it. Name something similar to the Budapest Memorandum that we have with Israel. Name it.
Why is the United States sending billions to Israel every year?
As soon as you answer,
of an agreement?
As soon as you answer what the agreement is, right? That's similar to the Budapest Memorandum. We can have a conversation. Name it.
Oh, come on, man! I don't remember the name of laws in Congress. This is pretty
okay. Cool. We don't
weird
have one. All right. Cool. We don't have one.
Am I lying? Isn't the U.S. sending billions to Israel every year?
It's like we do with other countries in our defense budget, but okay.
Not at that extent.
Yeah, Israel actually, between Israel, right, since 1961, right, it's been the country I've given the most foreign aid to. But the problem is, though, they drag us into the most stuff, right? So with that being said, right, Ukraine doesn't do that to us, and we have the Budapest Memorandum. We got nothing with Israel.
So you're saying Ukraine is not dragging the United States into a war? Are you crazy?
No, we're literally honoring Section 4 of the Budapest Memorandum.
Okay, and there's also an option to not honor the Section 4.
Okay,
and not
well,
be
we're not
dragged
going to
into
do that
war.
because there's nuclear weapons involved, and then that's going to put us on a bad spot on the world stage. Whenever there's an agreement,
Before the war in Ukraine started.
hold on. So
yes,
whenever
okay.
there's nuclear weapons involved, right? You
Mhm,
want to
mhm.
protect Americans, right? You want to honor agreements that have nuclear weapons involved. Keep Americans
course,
safe.
okay.
Just like you said,
I
right?
love this logic.
America-centric.
I love this logic because if you're against a nuclear war, you should abstain from a war with a nuclear power, probably. You know, so I don't think you're following your own logic here.
I am, because if you honor Section 4 of the Budapest Memorandum, right, since it involved nuclear weapons, also, we're not the only other signatory. If you actually read it, there's like 7 other people, right?
Yes.
So this is a very, so I really suggest that you read it. It's only about 4 pages.
Okay, so Chris, tell me, do you know what the doomsday clock is?
Okay, we're not getting into this conspiracy theory stuff. Just, you don't have agreement
no,
for
it's
Israel.
Not, it's scientifically based, man.
Hey,
Come
I'm
on,
going
do
to
you know
pass this
what
up
it
to
is?
Thomas because I'm really,
You don't know
hey,
what it
Thomas,
is.
good movie.
Okay, look, scientists have been saying after the war in Ukraine, we have been closer to nuclear war than we have ever been, you know? So it's not something that's helping against
We're
such
always
a war.
You know what put us
It's coming
closer to
closer
nuclear
it.
war? So you know who put us closer to nuclear war? And when Trump backed out of the Iranian nuclear deal that allowed him to like stockpile nuclear material, that's who did it.
That is literally the clock that you're talking about, the doomsday clock, literally went to 2 minutes to midnight just because Donald Trump decided to pull us out of the Iran nuclear arms deal.
Boom.
That actually happened.
And it got even closer when the war started in Ukraine. So
no, it didn't.
No, it didn't.
It's always been. It is always.
It has never gone back ever since. You know, it has only been getting closer to zero.
If you want to talk about this clock, then let's talk about this clock because it's something that I know about. It literally moved the organization that is in charge of the nuclear the doomsday clock that you're talking about. Literally the day after Donald Trump pulled us out of the Iran nuclear arms deal, and that everybody and their grandmother said, "Don't do this." That organization moved the hands on that clock to 2 minutes to midnight. It has not moved. You know what? Never mind. I'm in front of my computer. Hold on. Because you want to go there? Let's go all the way.
Since you have it right there, can you tell me, did they move it back once the Biden administration came in power?
No, because the nuclear deal with Iran is not there anymore. Hold
right.
on.
Did ever since Biden reinstate the deal?
Ever since 2018, it's been gone. So here's the thing: Trump took us out of a 15-year deal that had Iran on wraps.
Did Biden reinstate the deal by any chance?
He wasn't able to.
Oh, really? Why?
Because okay, cool. Who are the 5 parties involved in the deal?
I don't know. I'm asking a question.
Because this is a debate, dude. So answer my question first, right? Just like you didn't know about.
I don't know, really. I don't know who the 5 parties are in the deal.
Cool. All right, cool. Cool. Got it. All right, cool. So you had Iran, Israel, us, the United Nations. Actually, 4. Yeah. So with that being said, right, Israel's not willing to relook at this deal anymore, which is one of the signatories. Right. Then you have the United Nations who's not willing to look at it. Right. Then you have Iran, who definitely doesn't want to look at it because it favors them to be out of it. So, yeah, we want to, but that's only 1 out of 4. So thank you, Trump, for messing this up royally. And that's the person that you voted for.
I mean, do you understand that we as Americans, when we put our word to something, normally, under any other normal stance, it stays. It fucking stays. Good or bad, if America says they're going to do something, the world is used to America doing it and standing on business. Donald Trump upended so many fucking known norms that have been in place. Both Republican and Democrats have put these things in place that right now it's just it doesn't make any fucking sense. Yes, hell's bells. I know 500 broken indigenous treaties. I know that. That's why I said good or bad. That's the bad part. Oh, we'll do it, and then they fuck around and not do it. I get that. But I really want you to understand, America is electing Donald Trump was literally the worst thing we could have possibly fucking done, because he had a jealousy of Barack Obama, and anything that Barack Obama accomplished, he wants to fucking dismantle. He wants to. That's a tragic understanding, man.
I think you're right on the last part, but the thing is, so long as Democrats keep seeing America as a world power, they're going to keep losing votes.
Okay, George Bush. All right.
Ronald Reagan. The fuck are you talking about?
Right.
George Herbert Walker Bush fucking went to goddamn war with Iraq, thinking that we were. Come on, man.
Trump started a war when he was president.
There's wars, but we have to stop the whataboutism and look at what's in front of us.
All right, perfect.
For fuck's sake.
Awesome. Let's go.
You want to go there?
Yeah.
You want to? You really want to go there with the whataboutism? Is that you think that's a bad thing, right?
Tell me, what do you think?
You understand that without the whataboutism, these conversations mean nothing. They mean absolutely nothing, because you cannot pin one thing on a bunch of people or a political party without looking at the fucking history of how it got there in the first goddamn place. America looks at its goddamn self as a world power. We have since World War II. When the rest of Europe was when the rest of Europe was rebuilding itself, we were the ones loaning money, because literally we didn't have any sort of damage like the British and the Russians and the French went through. We even helped pay fucking Japan and Germany to refix themselves. We paid Italy to refix themselves. That's when we started to call ourselves a fucking world power.
Well, the world changes a little bit, and it doesn't seem like people like it so much anymore.
It's called technology. Technology is what changed us. It was technology, right?
It's kind of a good thing, though, that people have started forming an opinion around this subject.
And what does Trump know about de-escalating anything? He started a war when he was president, Turkish-Kurdish war. He didn't get us out of Afghanistan, and he had drone strikes every 1.4 days, which is like 450% increase from Obama. Like, what does he know about that?
So
he funded the fucking war in Yemen by arming the fucking Saudis, and sat there and bragged about it.
Yeah, he vetoed, because Congress was about to not send the $8 billion, but then he vetoed it. So if he was if he was anti-war, then he wouldn't have done that.
Well, we got people that still believe. We got people that still believe that Trump didn't start any new wars, and that made him a good leader. No, he just presided over the longest war in American history. You understand? Every president that Afghanistan was under, they get a piece of it. So Obama gets a piece, George W. gets a piece, Biden gets a piece. Guess who else gets a piece? He was the president of the United States for the 4 years while the Afghanistan war was going on. So guess what? He is a war president. He didn't have to start a new one. We were still in the middle of the last one.
Okay,
it's also worth noting. Wait. I also want to point out to that point, he did not do a single bit of negotiating to end that war until the final hour in the midst of COVID, with an agreement that released 5,000 Taliban, which were the catalysts in the fall of Afghanistan when we did pull out. So it's also worth noting that even in his negotiation to end that war, it was a failure.
Literally. Everybody wants to blame Biden for the pullout, but it was set up by fucking Trump. In fact, at one point, Trump wanted.
I was about to say that congrats on Biden for completing the pullout, because it's the only thing that America did in Afghanistan that was good, actually, for the entire presence there. And I would hope everyone here agrees to that.
Do you think Trump is going to close Guantanamo Bay once and for all?
Absolutely not.
Exactly. So the war on terror is still a war, is it not? It's an undeclared war, was it not?
The thing is, okay, Trump is lacking on many issues. However, we're right here speaking about a two-party system, so we have to accept that many of these things are systemically bad, you know, and to say that one of the two parties is better is kind of the problem, I think, at least.
No, here's the problem. You just said it. We have to accept. Who the fuck said we did? Do you understand? The American populace is the reason we are where we are right now, because the very first words you said, we just have to accept. No, the fuck we don't.
We don't have to accept that Guantanamo Bay is bad?
No, we don't have to accept the fact that our elected leaders, the people we keep sending to Washington, D.C. to make these fucking decisions, are shit. They are dog shit. They're hot dog water dog shit.
Okay.
Why? Explain to me.
I'm not saying something different, dude. I'm saying the same thing as you.
So answer me this. What makes you think Donald Trump is going to be better this 4 years than he was the last 4 years? The last 4 years, the 4 years he was in was a fucking disaster. What makes you think he's learned anything and is gonna be better now?
I'm not saying exactly that. I'm just saying that just by virtue of Democrats not trying to dismantle any of these systemically bad things, they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot right now at this day and age, because they need to understand people need change. People need things to hope for in the future.
People need education.
Also this, yeah.
People need to understand that politics is not a sporting event. You don't wear the jersey of your favorite team when it comes to fucking politics. The American populace doesn't need to learn. Like, the Democrats aren't shooting themselves in the foot because the Democrats aren't being held to any sort of account whatsoever, because all of the when there is a chance for when there's
You're taking it the wrong direction.
No, I am not.
It's
I'm
not the voting
showing you something.
populace's fault. It's not
Yes,
the
it
personal
is.
responsibility
Yes,
fault.
it is. Why is it not the responsibility of the American populace? Who pays these fucking people? Who pays them? Who is it that pays taxes every fucking year? Grumble, 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 pays taxes every fucking year. And yet Marjorie Taylor Greene still has a job. Lauren Boebert still has a job. And if you want me to go Democrat, I'll go Democrat. Why the fuck is Nancy Pelosi, 84-year-old, broke her fucking hip, still having any power within the Democratic apparatus to where she can put a 74-year-old man who is suffering from esophageal cancer, which that should be his biggest focus. He's now in a leadership position because she doesn't like fucking AOC. This is American people's fault. Now, I might be the only person on this panel that'll say that, but it's true. We are at fault for this. We are. And until such time as the American populace gets smarter, starts taking this shit seriously, and fucking really hold these people's feet to the fucking fire, we are always going to end up in these situations. Do you know who wins in this war in Ukraine?
Big capital does.
Defense contractors. Do
Yeah.
you know who wins in the war in Gaza?
Oh man, I don't think anyone wins there except
Defense
contractors.
contractors. Defense contractors.
People who sell the planes, yeah.
Who won in the war in Afghanistan?
People who sell the weapons, right?
Defense contractors.
Yeah.
Do you see now what I'm talking about? And nobody seems to notice this shit, but I guarantee you, if you want to talk about the price of eggs, and Donald Trump said he's going to bring down the price of eggs, the motherfuckers know that shit now, don't they?
You're right, but in comparison, people looked at that and said, okay, what's the difference? Is there a big difference? No, I'm going to vote for Trump. This is what people thought, in my opinion.
But did you and Chris not just have a fucking exchange over the war in Ukraine?
Yes.
So I literally said it's vibes. It's vibes. I told you earlier, we do not have a very large scale educated voting populace. So what happens is they base their sole decision on federal elections, particularly the top of the ticket, on who is currently in office and how do I feel? How do I feel about going to the grocery store? How do I feel about going to the gas station? How do I feel about going my kid's school? So you're ignoring the reality that it is, and like Thomas is saying, it is the fault of us as the citizens because we are not staying abroad and we are not staying educated on the issues. My argument to that is we are in an environment where it's hard for many people to do that because just surviving is hard enough. People that are working day in and day out, putting themselves through school, dealing with family, dealing with children, dealing with life, paying attention to the ins and outs and nuance of politics and policy is not comes to the light of heart. Like that's something that I've invested in, something that everybody in this chat has invested in, but it is not the everyday American who has that level of investment. So again, it goes back to vibes, and the vibes were shit, and Democrats did not speak to those people who were not constantly tuned in to what's happening day in and day out, period.
And the Republicans played them like a fucking fiddle. He ran. Of course he did. The Republicans played him like a fiddle. Oh, how do you feel about bacon? How do you feel about eggs? How do you feel about gas? It's a feeling. It's always a feeling. And I completely agree with you. But at the exact same time, a lot of these people can tell you the yardage that their favorite football player got. They can tell you how much Alabama they can tell you how much Alabama beat fucking Georgia by,
Maybe
or
I should have
Georgia beat.
reset it. Priorities. It's a priority thing.
There you go. And
It's a
again,
priority thing.
survival, and I understand survival. Do not get me wrong. I am a working class fucking person. I've been a working class person my entire fucking life. I understand the struggle of working class people. What I don't like, what I do not like, and what I cannot stand is that somehow we have been convinced that identity politics are bad. If you are poor, that is your motherfucking identity. If you are poor plus, and this is what poor plus looks like. Poor plus black, poor plus white and uneducated, poor plus trans, poor plus woman. These are your fucking identities. Why are we running from them? We have let talking heads on Fox News and television tell us, the fucking the Democrats play identity politics. Bitch, it is all identity politics. Every time I wake up and put my feet on the ground, I am a black man in America. I represent 13 to 14% of the motherfucking population. How do I separate what I am from how I vote? How do you do that? Like, Jess, you are a woman and you are a working class woman. You're working class and a woman. So how do you separate your identity from that? How does anybody separate?
I don't. And
Exactly.
I'm a woman running for office, which is also
There
contentious.
you go. You see what I'm saying? You're like, I'm gonna try to change this. But you already know you walk into the game being looked at as a woman who's working class. You can say, I'm a working class mother, I'm a working class wife. So you understand the struggles of working class people, but somebody's going to try to convince you, that's a bad way to go, Jess. You really can't do that because nobody wants to deal with identity politics. The fuck are you talking about? This is all identity politics. All of it.
What's funny is what you're saying here, and this is the funny part, is that Republicans absolutely condemn identity politics, and yet they run their entire campaigns on identity politics. In my state, I am getting daily, not weekly, daily, sometimes multiple times a day, emails because I made the mistake of let's know what the enemy looks like. And I subscribe to a lot of Republican stuff. And I get daily messages from Winsome Sears saying the left is condemning me for being a Black Republican and leaning into the fact that she's a Black Republican, leaning into that as a quality for you to vote for her as governor. And then on the flip side of that, they're playing identity politics with white, lower and middle class.
Yes.
So what did I miss?
100%.
What did I miss?
Sorry, we're just talking about identity politics is not a one party. Like the Republicans condemn it while using it is what I was saying.
Oh, Republicans use it more than we do.
Correct, they do.
Yeah, any liberation type party has got to understand that race, sex, homophobia, xenophobia, all of these things are branches on the tree that is class. I just spoke about this on the Sound of Coffee this morning. I literally just spoke about this on the Sound of Coffee this morning. And I got really passionate. I was really angry. Go to YouTube and watch it. Anyway, We are all in a class that is not the class that can buy a fucking president. Alina can't buy a president. Chris can't buy a president. I can't buy a president. Jess, you can't buy a president. Javon, you can't buy a president. None of us can buy a fucking president, right? So guess what? Your ass is in. You are fucking part of the working class. That is your identity. Now, your identity goes working class plus black, meaning what my story is going to be different than Jess's, going to be different than Chris's, going to be different than Alina's. Javon might understand it. In fact, I think Javon does understand it. You know what I mean? So this is all identity, all of it. What we have to do is fucking reject anybody that doesn't want to fucking acknowledge that. Poor working class white people. Poor working class white people. You're one of us. Do not, your race means absolutely nothing, because guess what? You can't buy a president. You can. I said this on the show this morning. Elon Musk bought a president, and we just all shrugged our shoulders and said, well, whatever. Yes, presidents have been bought before. Do not get me wrong. But it was always in secret. You know what I mean? It was always in shadowy rooms with a lot of cigar smoking, cognac, and really good leather chairs and shit. Yeah, you can buy a president. Elon Musk bought a president right in front of us, and nobody moved. Nobody said shit. But nothing. We just like I'm gonna stay quiet. I'm gonna stay quiet.
Well, it's funny you say that. Elon Musk this morning tweeted or whatever that the people have spoken, talking about killing of the CR. And it's funny to me. No, the people didn't speak. You did, and your fellow billionaire future president spoke, and they are afraid of you both because of the power that you wield, and so they bended the knee. The people did not speak because the majority of people, particularly those that depend on the federal government to pay them, absolutely don't want you playing with their livelihoods right before Christmas.
I mean, look at the outpouring of passion for the death of a CEO of a healthcare company. But, and I even said it, on that same day, 2 kids who didn't speak English were stabbed. One is unalive. Same
And
time.
where was that manhunt? Where was the manhunt for the person that did that?
No, it 4 white guys. They even described 4 white guys. That same time, same couple of blocks away from where this man was gunned down or unalived. Little girl, I think she was about 12, asked the same question. Gunned down. Nothing.
Something I want to be upfront about, because I feel like people tend to forget this anyway. I view Donald Trump and the Republican Party and the Democratic Party as the same, like, evil, right? Like they're the same. Whether you want to believe that or not, the Democrats are responsible. The Democratic Party is also responsible for like a metric fuck ton of imperialism, a metric fuck ton of white supremacy, a metric fuck ton of all this, right? But I also recognize that, like, materially, when we look at what is going to happen under a Republican Party, we're going to see. I did support Kamala. I supported her for the election. I recognize this is what I hate. I hate non-nuanced conversations, and I feel like the nuance is lost with a lot of leftists online, and it's typically the leftists who are, in my experience, the white ones, right? Trump's going to try everything he can to get DACA recipients out of the country. So he's going to say, fuck DACA recipients, right? That's not going to happen. That wouldn't have happened under Democrats have historically supported DACA, right? Trump's going to do everything he can to get homeless people into camps, right? Now, is this happening under Democratic rule too? Yes, but Trump's trying to nationwide this shit, right? I have to recognize that there is no perfect candidate, and that I also have to recognize that when it comes to who's going to do the most amount of damage, it's Donald Trump. Most amount of damage. If y'all want to start a revolution, I'm waiting. Black people, queer people, they're not the ones that need to hop up on the front lines, right? If we're going to talk about who needs to hop up in the front lines, it's the white leftists. If we're talking about like revolution, right? White leftists need to put themselves in front of the people, the marginalized people in the country. Like full stop. Like there is no, like, I'm not going to tell black women that they need to get onto the front lines. I'm not going to fucking tell Palestinian people that they need to put themselves in danger on the front lines. Absolutely not going to do that. Homie said this doesn't sound very Leninist. Did I ever fucking say I'm a Leninist? What the fuck?
I like to call myself a socialist patriot. I'm coining that phrase now. I like to call myself a socialist patriot. If we took all the tenets of socialism, slapped a couple of eagles on it, an American flag, and did the hip hop version of God Bless the USA, pretty sure we could sell it. Pretty sure we could sell it. But the problem, again, it goes back to what you were just saying, Javon. The people who have fought this battle simply by nature of birth, we can't be in the front lines no more. We can't. It's tiring work. So, like, I'm not, you know what I mean? No, I did not vote for Kanye. Fuck out of here with that. I didn't like Kanye before he became anti-Semite. I've never liked that motherfucker. So there's that. It has to be white leftists. They got to put some skin in the game, man. They got to. I don't think they will, but they have to. They've got to put some skin in the game. Because dead ass, this fight is tiring. Like, y'all thought black women saying we out was a bad thing. No. It's fucking frustration.
Like, and one of the things I really need for white leftists specifically, I need to do, because I made it very clear during the election time, I will not criticize a marginalized person for voting Democrat. I will not criticize black women for voting Democrat when we see that under Republican administrations, their maternal mortality rate goes up. I will not criticize queer people for voting Democrat when they see their rights being stripped under Republican states, right? I'm not going to criticize this. I do think we need to hold the Democratic Party to the same standards we hold the Republican Party to. And I do think we need to stop, like, what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? The Democratic Party are just like profiting off of marginalized voices. I don't disagree with this, like, at all. I mean, look at who they invited to the White House versus who they didn't invite to the White House this past yesterday. I think my issue is placating is a good word. Yeah, placating is a good word. My big issue is this idea that there's not nuance to the conversation, right? Like, I'm tired of screaming into the void, like, hey, we need to fix X, Y, and Z, and being told, well, we're not going to fix X, Y, and Z because what actually matters is Q. Like, bitch, we can do both. Like, what the fuck? Well, why does it need to be a one or the other thing? Why can I not fight for black liberation while also fighting anti-capitalist sentiment? Why can't I put policies into place? Why can't I put somebody said, then be more of an organizer. Again, you're passing the buck off to the oppressed group. Like, you're just passing the buck. Why can't I try to preserve the rights of the people I care about while also pushing back against imperialism? No, we shouldn't all work together on this. No, we shouldn't.
No.
That's nonsense. We have been working together. We've been trying this.
Yes.
Like, what? Look at the Black liberation movement from its inception till today. Like, no, we have not been there has never been work together. We've been inviting you to we've been inviting white people to the table for how long? For how long have we been inviting white people to the table? Look at how quickly white people ditched the Black Lives Matter movement. Like, how quick that fell out of favor. As soon as it became inconvenient, y'all stop giving a fuck.
Yep. And that is something that you can say what you want to. Oh, well, the organization is corrupt. Do the words Black Lives Matter mean anything to you? Fuck the organization. Fuck, we don't, organizations are always going to fucking fail us. Always. The words Black Lives Matter, do they fucking matter to you? If you're thinking organization, we're not talking the same goddamn language. We're not. That means when we say Black Lives Matter, that means they matter in the workplace. They matter in home ownership. They matter in mortality rates. They matter in education. That's what the fuck we're talking about. You're looking at, well, the organization. We ain't talking the same. We're not talking the same. This is why we like, hey, keep going over there and getting your head cut off. We're going to stay our ass over here because we keep trying to fucking tell you, like Javon said, we've been inviting white people to this fight since long before the fucking civil rights movement. When unions were not, when there were people in unions that were like, I will strike for better pay, but I won't strike with a black man, or I won't strike with that Asian man, or I won't strike with that Hispanic man. We've been inviting you motherfuckers to the fight. Y'all are just now coming to the realization that, oh shit, there's a fight to be had. Yes. Capitalism
Somebody
fucks you, man.
just real quick. Somebody said, "What's the difference between leftist and liberal?" Liberals are pretty much pro-capitalism, which, if you know anything about capitalism, it's what's caused half of these problems, if not more. The subjugation of black bodies entirely due to capitalism. Entirely due to capitalism. Black peoples were and still are seen as a commodity. We're seen as a tool for profit. You can look at this in the way that black people, in the way that our art and culture is taken from us. You can look at it in the way that we were quite literally tools. We were considered property, right? Capitalism is directly responsible for black subjugation. It still is, by the way. There's a reason why 30% of the prison population is black when we only make up 13% of the population. And the bulk of us are in there for drug crimes.
Oops. Literally, after the day after Donald Trump's election, the stock in for-profit prisons went up. It's like they're telling you the game ahead of time. They are literally explaining to you in the simplest fucking language what they're about to do. The for-profit prison system, their stock, and all these companies that are for-profit prisons went up. There's a lot of Latino and Spanish-speaking people think this shit ain't going to affect you. If it's not going to affect you, then why in the fuck would the stock prices for for-profit prisons go up? They already got our black asses. Where do you think they're coming next? Like Javon said, Donald Trump wants to get rid of birthright citizenship. He wants to get rid of DACA. He has not made any fucking secret about this shit. And yet, oh, we voted for him because his economic policy spoke to me. Okay. I bet
the economic policies lied about.
Yes.
This is crazy. But it's just,
I bet they did.
It's so frustrating because, like, the amount of times I have to have a conversation with somebody and explain to them, like, look at it this way. Liberals in the most liberal state, California, still voted to maintain slavery at their state constitutional level. This is an issue, right? Even the most liberal person on the planet, I'll talk to, and they'll still go, well, I think prisoners should still do slave labor. Not recognizing, again, not recognizing that the bulk of people in prison are black, and the bulk of those black bodies are in there for victimless crimes. And the bulk of, and how many black people are in there and did not commit the crime that they're in there to begin with. Yes, it got kept. Yeah.
It's kind of scary how easy it is to fool the populace. It should be harder than this. Like I will tell you why I will eternally love Jess, because Jess's optimism uh, um, matched with her intellect. And I'm not blowing smoke up your ass, Jess. I'm simply telling you this. And for 4 years, I have watched you do this, and it is one of the most beautiful things that I think I've ever seen a human being do. Your optimism matched with your intellect always means that when you do fight, you are fighting for something greater than your goddamn self. It is not, it is proven. This isn't some shit that, oh, well, it happens and I saw it. No, it is fucking proven. Far too many people do not have that capacity. They're missing one or the other one. They are either highly intelligent, but not optimistic about any of the things that they want, or they're extremely optimistic with nothing backing behind it. It's all just feelings and butterflies and bullshit. I'm not that person. I am a cold, hard fact, hard concrete type of person. That has always been the way I have been. That's always the way I will be. Because my supreme disappointment in the people that should know better, it just keeps replicating over and over. I don't have to go a single solitary day without an example of people showing me why we will never get what the fuck we deserve. Because somebody will either bring it to me, they'll be in a comment section of some shit, or they'll make a video where I'm going, this is why we'll fail. This is why. This is it. This is exactly why we will continue to fucking fail. It's heartbreaking.
One of the things too that I want to mention is I don't think voting is gonna. Oh, go ahead, Jess. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, please don't think that I don't get real dark, real sad, real worried. But at the same time, I think my optimism, as you call it, is also a level of my privilege. And I do have a privilege to be a little more optimistic. Also, I want to be a part. I don't want to say be part. I want to infiltrate the system in a way that allows me to put it in a better trajectory. But I know that Jovan is about to go on about how voting doesn't pick shit. But,
Yeah.
but
Well,
like,
no.
as
Here's.
someone who's like trying to run and earn votes, like.
Let me be so very upfront here.
Anyways,
when we're speaking on the national level, voting will not change anything. Voting will not get rid of imperialism. Voting will not get rid of capitalism. Voting locally, to affect the things going on in your local life, fine, cool. I'm a council communist. That's what I want anyway. Voting won't change the system. But when I look at history, I see that not voting and or allowing certain people to come into power will make it increasingly difficult to organize the way I think we need to organize. Direct example. What was the first thing Schmittler did when he rose to power? He rounded up people that identified as leftists, identified as Marxists, identified as communists, identified as socialists, and he pled-out. They faced the wall. When Trump says things like, I want to get people out of the country who believe in Marxism, when Trump gets every branch of power, when Trump picks the people he wants to head the military and says he wants to remove military members who are liberal, when Trump says these things and the people that want to vote for him champion how much they hate the left and they hate Marxists and they're all groomers and they're all terrible people, right? All I see when looking at history is I see a way for the right in America to start getting rid of us. And some people may say, well, I don't think that's enough for me to vote. Fine. I'm not going to knock you for that. Some people may say, I don't think voting is going to fix that. That's fine. I do. Not as in I think the system's going to be fixed. I don't see the Democrats trying to plit out all of us. Okay. I don't see the Democrats trying to do that. Or at least they're not outwardly proposing this, right? Trump is literally saying he wants to get us. How are we going to organize if first of all, how are we going to organize if Trump kicks out DACA recipients, if he undoes birthright citizenship? How are we going to organize if we're all too poor to fucking eat? Like, how are we going to organize under these conditions? I don't know how. If you know a way, by all means, tell me. If you know a way we can organize under McCarthyism, I'm more than happy to hear it. But we've tried that before and it didn't work out great.
I personally think that we have to start looking at this as a hostile takeover, but you can't start at the top. You have to start at the bottom. You have to start at the bottom. You have to start at the bottom. Local elections affect you more than anything that's going at the top of the ticket. Local elections. If you know there's a school board opening, oh fuck, there's a school board opening. You need to be involved in getting that school board opening. You need to run for that election. When you see people like the fucking Moms for Liberty showing the fuck up, y'all need to be galvanizing yourself to protect education, because a smart populace votes smartly. If you know that there's a city council opening, run for the motherfucker. Run for it. Upset the established order. Run for it. And when you get your ass in there, don't get in there and listen to the people who with the nice Rolex watches and the Maseratis. Listen to the motherfuckers that drove a 1996 Ford F-150 that is barely fucking running. Talk to them. Make your voices heard on that city council for those people. Start locally. I even said this. White leftists lose because y'all want to go globally as soon as you get one victory. Fuck you. No. If you start locally, you expand a little bit. You take over. If it's your community, you expand from your community to your city, state, rural area, whatever, town, whatever, and you continue to expand. It has to be a hostile takeover, and you have to stop listening to people who do not have to live the life that you live and will tell you what is good for you. Fuck them goddamn people. I'm so sorry. I have a beef with Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian of the Young Turks. I'm gonna get Cenk to tell me, number one, what is woke, and number two, how do I separate the fact that I am a 53-year-old black man from my fucking politics? I'm gonna get that man to tell me this. I'm gonna get him. Because people like him are trying to tell you that, hey, let's normalize what we see here. I'm not going to do that. And neither should you. I'm gonna hit the Christians in the chat and things with this. What do they say about faith? Faith without acts is dead. Meaning, you can have all the story speeches, but if you're not willing to get your fucking knuckles bloody, all you did was talk to yourself. You gotta put your fucking fight shoes on. Stop this. There's a women's march on January 18th. Why? There's gonna be a lot of people that's gonna be in that women's march that voted against women. Fuck you having it for. You can't trust everybody in the crowd. You want to march? March your ass to school board meetings. March your ass to city council meetings. March your ass to the mayor's office. March your ass to the state house. March your ass to the governor's mansion. You want to march some fucking where? Go there. And make goddamn sure your voices is heard. If you are fighting for women's rights, fight for them in the face of people who are trying to take them away. Not for the world to fucking see. I'm sorry.
No, it's true. I'm always a big proponent of local and state. Like at the end of the day, that is the most important, and that is the least participated part of our electorate. Like it is. You can look at like last year, 2023, one city in my district voted 38%. This past federal election, they voted 69%. Same city, literally almost double. And the election they chose to sit out decided who their senator was, who their House of Delegates was, who their Board of Supervisors and their school board was. So these people are making huge decisions on what affects you every fucking day, from how your trash gets picked up to how your kids are being educated and funded, whether or not you have free and reduced lunch, whether or not you have access to reproductive health care. Like those people matter way more than the federal government, because they can go to bat for us as a state and as a locality if the federal government comes after us. And
one
people need
thing
to understand that.
One thing I want to say, and then I'm gonna close out the stream this morning because we're running up against our time, and I gotta go bring boxes to the recycling center. Just you want to know something fucked up? You know what day Inauguration Day falls on this year?
Martin Luther King's birthday.
Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Yep.
Jesus
Ain't that some
Christ,
shit?
what a slap
Ain't
in the
that
face.
some
That
shit?
is a slap in the face.
I don't want to see. I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to see nobody celebrating MLK Day. I'm gonna be so for real. This might be an unpopular opinion. There ain't shit to celebrate.
I'm not going to.
Yeah, I don't want to see no. I don't. Not a single person better post. MLK believed in this. MLK was a goddamn socialist. He's turning over in his fucking grave at this shit.
Yeah, just
You know what the most powerful thing I learned on this app was from Thomas, and I use it often, is MLK was praised and Malcolm X was shunned, and yet they both had the same demise.
Yep.
So further evidence that it doesn't matter how you fucking protest. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't. You are going to get hated, especially if you are a voice from a marginalized community, and that includes women. A woman standing up for women's rights and not capitulating and not trying to find a nice way to say it, a blunt instrument, your ass will be hated. I think a lot of leftists do not want that hate. There are a lot of people who I'll use Alina as an example. Alina is a voice for trans rights. I'm pretty sure Alina doesn't give a fuck about being hated for fighting for trans rights because they are on the right side of the fight. A lot of y'all don't want that hate. Y'all don't want your mom and your dad and your cousins and your friends to look at you strange. Fuck them. I have learned more than anything is I'm going to open my mouth and I'm going to be hated simply because of what I'm saying and how I'm saying it. I don't care because sometimes, I go back to the Dark Knight. That y'all want to know where I come from? The fucking Dark Knight, the last 10 minutes of the goddamn Dark Knight. Sometimes truth isn't good enough. Sometimes people deserve more. Sometimes people deserve to have their faith rewarded. If you are out here fighting for the rights of people whose voices are not heard, you're going to be hated. They will hunt you. You will condemn me, and that's fine. Jess is not trying to win a popularity contest. Jess is trying to fight for the rights of people.
Jess is also kind of trying to win a popularity contest.
I mean, I am trying to.
True.
But I'm doing it in a way that I'm not bullshitting people. I'm being authentically me, and I'm being like, this is where I stand, take it or leave it. Like I don't go to someone's door and try to, I don't avoid questions. Yes, I am trying to win a popularity contest. I mean, that is what an election is, unfortunately. But
I'll say this. Listen. They gonna get you when you black. They gonna get you if you sleeping. They gonna get you if you protesting. They gonna get you if you playing outside with a toy gun. They gonna get you if you driving. They gonna get you if you have a legal firearm. They gonna get you for something. So
you're gonna get got. You're gonna get got, and understand that it comes with the fucking territory. If you are in this not to rock the goddamn boat, then this is not the fucking fight for you. But if you are truly into this, if you truly want to see change amongst not just yourself and your little circle, but the working class community that you are part of, get ready to get hated. Get ready to get called all kinds of fucked up names. Ignore them. You are on the right side of fucking history. I don't want to be seen with a pussy hat. I want to be seen calling people pussies. I don't want to be seen with a vote or die T-shirt like fucking Diddy does. I want you to understand that if you do not vote right, you will die. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I'm on the right side of history. I know I am. This is not somebody told me and it was a focus group that said, no, fuck you, bitch. I know I am. I fucking know it. In my soul, I know it. You have got to fucking, you got to be kidding me. The sheriff's department assaulted Brett and Nikki. What the fuck? Brett and Nikki are on the right side of history. And you know why I know they're on the right side of history? Because people hate them. You've got to be willing to be hated. You've got to be willing to be the fucking villain and not the super villain like in comic books. The motherfucker that keeps saying over and over, the emperor ain't got on no clothes. Oh, he's a cool emperor. I don't give a fuck. He's naked. That motherfucker's buck ass. And you have to be willing to walk that fire. Some of y'all just ain't willing to do it.
Did you happen to see, I'm sure y'all did, but did you happen to see that every single appointment for the committee chairs in Congress was appointed to a white male Republican?
Yep, I damn sure did.
Like this is to anybody that is a woman Republican. If you are here on YouTube, actions speak louder than motherfucking words, okay? And when you have the majority as the party in the House and the Senate, your leaders get the responsibility of appointing the heads of every committee. And these are some of the most important leadership roles in Congress. You get to decide if a bill lives or dies. You get to decide if it moves forward. These are powerful leadership roles. And literally, Republican Party just told you if you are a minority or a woman, you do not count. Need not apply.
All right. Well, that with that, it is time for me to end the morning show.
Not to
We'll be
mention they
back.
told Anna Paulina Luna, Mike Johnson himself, weeks ago. Okay, bye.
Okay. We'll be back tomorrow with Feminist Friday, which will be Alina's led live. So join us tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern. Same time, same place. Thomas, thank you for being here.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. Jess, thank you for being here.
Appreciate you all.
All right. Alina, any final words?
Talk to you later.
Did Alina fall asleep again? Alina definitely fell asleep again. We need to start keeping a Alina sleep counter for streams she falls asleep in. This is 2. This is 2 in a row. I'll do Alina's outro. Get you a heated blanket, adopt a cat. I will see you guys tomorrow for the stream. Thanks for watching, you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll be back tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern on Twitch. We're going to watch the Nick Fuentes police footage and hang out. So see you then. Bye.